It's now the new norm. I know WWE is going to be going full Netflix soon, and you can even watch games on Netflix going forward here. So I know everyone's at least anticipating it. It's something to do tonight. I've had 5, maybe 10 people in the last 3 hours or so ask me what I'm doing for the fight tonight, and I have to remind them that I'm on the radio at 6 o'clock every night. So for those just tuning in, we are live on YouTube as well. Just go to youtube.com/985 The Sports Hub, or just search The Sports Hub as well. We got Skaz here. We got Street Team Joe helping us out on the phones tonight as well. And the phone number here is 617-779-0985. Short and sweet tonight. Patriots-Rams. Can the Patriots carry it over? Is it a coaching mismatch between Sean McVay and Gerard Mayo? Drake May, how does he play now after 5 games? And what will be the reaction to Alex Van Pelt after this Sunday's game? A lot of love for Van Pelt this week, and he did a local interview today where he made some comments regarding the Patriots going around and calling others to see how they should handle their young quarterback. So we'll have all that for you as well. A ton of other NFL news. Chiefs are in action this weekend as well against the Buffalo Bills. They'll be without their kicker, though. And last night's game, you saw the Eagles win at home against Jaden Daniels in Washington. There's 2 other 7-win teams going at it this weekend as well. I got all your predictions. We got Joe Me the Money later on in the show as well. So again, the phone number here is 617-779-0985. Patriots-Rams, the history of these two teams. If you think about it, Kraft saved the Patriots from moving to St. Louis so many years ago. Remember the greatest show on turf? And Bill Belichick coming up with the greatest defensive plan in Super Bowl history to stop them and win their first Super Bowl? Well, they beat them again in another Super Bowl in 2018 when they were in L.A. This time it was first overall pick Jared Goff as the quarterback. Of course, there's the young mind, the great young mind in Sean McVay. How teams now, when they're looking for their next offensive coordinator or even coach, they want someone from that McVay tree. Could this be the end of the line for one Matthew Stafford? I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl this year. I thought McVay, Stafford, Nakua, Kupp, and all their wide receivers and their great running game that they have, they'd get back on track. You know, they'd have an edge in their division this year. It's not over yet, but that was a tough loss the other night to the Dolphins. How do they bounce back? Speaking of the Dolphins, the Patriots take them on next week. One other little quirky thing about the game this week. Do you know who the backup quarterback is for the LA Rams? Jimmy Garoppolo, who, by the way, was suspended the first couple of games this year. But Jimmy G making his return to Gillette Stadium. How do the Patriots carry things over this week? Are they happy with Van Pelt? Those are somewhat of my storylines for this week when it comes to the two teams. But here you are now. We've seen 10 weeks of Patriots games. You think they're getting better? And one of the questions this week was, is this year's team better than last year's team? No, it's not. I said it all last year. At times, people rolled their eyes when I said it, but I think Bill Belichick ran that thing right into the ground. And I think Bill O'Brien was even worse. You know my feelings on that. And by the way, did you see what's going on with Bill O'Brien at Boston College? He benches his quarterback, who's been the best one they've had in a while, and now he's leaving the school. Talk about being suspect. Story for another day. This year's team's not better than last year's Patriots team. They're not. Is Drake May more exciting and better than any quarterback they have? Yes. Did we give you the numbers that Drake May is the best quarterback that the Patriots have had since Tom Brady? Yes. But are they a better football team? No, they are not. Their defense is substantially worse. Their defense gave up 3 points last week to a rookie quarterback on the road. Are they going to do that this week against a very talented Matthew Stafford and not to mention Kyron Williams? This guy can run the football, and every win they've had this year, he's had a touchdown or two. They didn't run the ball well last week. Are the Patriots going to go another week without giving up 100 yards on the ground? I just don't see it happening. So if you want my prediction off the bat, I think the Rams win this week and they cover the 4.5. I think there's a lot of love for the Patriots. I think people are starting just to look at it a little bit differently as, hey, this team isn't so bad. And I think this week there's a big reminder of how bad they are against the run. And I also think they're going to see an exotic look, and Drake May is going to make mistakes this week. The Patriots have struggled to win games at home. Yeah, they finally have won one this year at home. But Patriots-Rams this week, let's not forget the two teams and who they are and where they stand. Yes, the Rams have 4 wins and it's disappointing, but they missed their quarterback for a couple of weeks. The Patriots got their first win of the year, had no quarterback, and now are going to a rookie. We've said that the Patriots have been the get-right game for most teams. I mean, even the Titans beat them, one of the worst in the league. The Bears were a mess last week, and the Pats took advantage of it. I give them credit for it. Can they do it against a well-coached team in the Rams? I just don't see it happening. And you know what? I think Kyron Williams is going to have a big day on the ground, but I think you're going to see Matthew Stafford in action. And you've heard a lot about Christian Gonzalez and Jonathan Jones and the secondary for the Patriots. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. I think it's going to be a very difficult week for the defense. And it's going to be hard for Gerard Mayo and Covington and crew to make changes on the fly. I want to root for the Pats. I want to see development from Drake May. I think he's going to see an exotic defense this week and make mistakes. Can the Patriots run the ball again? The other thing is this. The Rams are going to be without 2 offensive linemen. This is now how many weeks in a row where the other team is missing 2 starters on the offensive line? They didn't get much of a pass rush over the last couple of weeks, and last week they had 9 sacks. Can they continue to have some sort of defensive scheme that gets at the quarterback? I don't think so. But hey, I thought Chicago can beat them last week. I think the Rams are a good football team. I think they lost to a Dolphins team by settling for field goals. I think Miami, with that style, can beat the Patriots taking the points. I don't think you can beat the upstart Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa just taking the points. So I got a bunch of Rams, Patriots, by the numbers if you'd like, but I wanted you to think about the matchup over the years. The Rams have always generally been the favorite. In the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, Patriots made some great defensive plays, and that's why they won the game. They leaned on Sony Michel in the running game. Looking at it now, Tom Brady's gone. Stafford's in after winning a championship just a couple of years ago. I don't know what the future holds for the Rams at quarterback, but do they have the coach in place and the receivers and the running game and all that? Absolutely. And their insurance was Jimmy Garoppolo. But I think next year they're a team that looks at one of these quarterbacks that are probably going to fall in the draft this year. Quinn Ewers, someone like that's going to fall to the Rams. McVay's going to get him, and they'll be right back on track. But I think getting back on track is a win this weekend in the get-right game against the New England Patriots for the Rams. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. We got a full show tonight. You guys can call in on anything you want. Anything, including the Mike Tyson fight tonight. And I say Mike Tyson fight because I don't know if people really know who Jake Paul is. They know him as maybe some sort of internet sensation or YouTube guy. He can fight. And his brother Logan's an extremely talented guy that's right now doing pretty well in WWE. But that's what this is tonight. It's a show. It's about, I wouldn't say it's a boxing match by any means. 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. We're here until 10 o'clock tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub. and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Zone.
All right, back here in 98.5 The Sport. I'm Joe Murray. We got a full show tonight. I know we've been interrupted by games. I know you miss us. We're back. We're here. And we got you all night long. I see people already in our chat on YouTube tonight. I see Ein Bine in there. Brian Griffin, the brokerage babe. Hi. Carrie Ann, Super Joe, 10. They're all in there already. Humperdinck, you name them, they're there. Bubba Ganoush. Full show tonight. Patriots and Rams this weekend on Sunday. I'm taking the Rams -4.5. I'm already on it. I took the Bears last week, so take it for what that's worth. But the Rams are without 2 tackles, but I just feel like the Patriots don't really have pass rushers. It's more of about a scheme. I don't think there's a scheme that's going to confuse Matthew Stafford. And I think last week they settled for field goals way too much. I don't think they were aggressive enough, which is why I think they lost the game. You can't go for a field goal, miss it, then give up an 80-yard touchdown play. That's exactly what happened last week against Miami. They were in it until the end, but they settled for field goals. Now, can you beat the Patriots that way? I think you can. Hey, I know Drake May's averaging 19 points per game in his 5 starts, but Matthew Stafford's a guy in the league who can average 25. I'll actually look that up shortly, what the Rams have done offensively this year. Kyron Williams. That's the guy. Last week, DeAndre Swift should have got more than 16 carries. This week, Williams should have 20 carries plus. And when he scores touchdowns, specifically multiple touchdowns in a game, they're undefeated. I think they go back to the old bread and butter and run the football on the Patriots. Also, just want to let you know, it is a full show tonight. Skaz is with us as well. Skaz goes, "Oh, Joe, it's a full moon. Could be a wild one tonight." Oh! It is a full moon out there tonight. I pulled into the lot today and I saw a big old moon out there. Yeah. Yeah. All the crazies are going to be out tonight. We're going to watch a 58-year-old boxer, Mike Tyson, who we've seen in like The Hangover and like other movies. Now he's actually going to fight a guy who's on YouTube. Like, I bet you Jake Paul wasn't even around when Mike Tyson fought years ago. All the crazies are going to be out tonight. So if you're a crazy, feel free to call in. 617-779-0985. It's going to be one of those nights. It's going to be one of those nights tonight. The full moon, Skaz. I know, you called it. We almost got a little bit of a wild couple of calls the other night. You could tell the full moon was coming. It is approaching. Anyways, you got anything on this Rams thing, Skaz? Because I think it's Rams. I know everyone's starting to get behind the Patriots and, maybe they can win this week. I've seen a lot of people I respect say they can win. And, listen, the numbers match up to it. I think the Rams off a loss. It's a bad spot for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, the short week doesn't do anything for you. Rams on a short week.
Short week, West Coast to East Coast. Yeah.
Not enough.
Not for me.
The only thing I'll say is Stafford has had some really up and down games this year. There's times where he's looked like the Matt Stafford of old, and then there's other times where he's just looked playing like old Matt Stafford. But I just worry about the Patriots secondary with Nakua and Kupp. Christian Gonzalez has had a good year, but I think when he's had, Stephon Diggs gave him a hard time. I think he had some trouble against the Jets. I've been a little disappointed, might not be the right word, but Christian Gonzalez, I think this is a big week for Christian Gonzalez. I wonder if he gets Nakua or if he gets Kupp and how they cover the other. So for me, can the Patriots offense keep pace with the Rams? I just don't see it. You're a big, is it still 5? Is the number still 4.5? So it was 5.
It was open to 5.5.
Which is a scary number.
Then they lost, and then, yep, exactly. Yep.
So, yeah, I'm kind of with you on, this is a tough spot for the Patriots, but could they squeak one? I don't see it. I think the Rams win. Maybe the Patriots cover, but I would lead Rams with the spread if I had to pick.
All right, this is the numbers for Matthew Stafford. Last week, he went 32 of 46 for 293 and an interception. Seattle, they win 25 of 44, 2 touchdowns. Minnesota, 25 of 34, 279, 4 touchdowns. The Raiders, they win 20 to 15. He went 14 to 23, intercepted once, though. Green Bay, they lost 24-19. He went 29 of 45 for 260 yards. Like, he can still put up big numbers. But he has 2 games this year. Actually, only 1 game. And that was against the Raiders, which they ended up pulling the game out. But he only has 1 game this year where he has not thrown for over 215 yards. That's what Drake May's been doing on a weekly basis. So I feel like they're going to really challenge the Patriots downfield, and maybe they can show a different look. I mean, Cooper Kupp can do all sorts of things on the football field, and you mentioned Nakua. I think he's kind of turning into their best receiver now. But they have some other guys there. I mean, Demarcus Robinson's a big Tutu Atwell can play. Like, I don't know, Whittington's a guy that they just drafted this year. Like, I just feel like they have a lot of numbers. And this is what I've always said all year long. The Patriots are short at corner. I saw Isaiah Bolden was on the list. I know Marco Wilson got a look last week. But, as far as their tight end goes, Davis Allen, Colby Parkinson, Hunter Long, remember him from Miami? So they have a couple of options there. I think they're going to try to get the Patriots to play a little bit more of a not so much a nickel look, but more of a, they're going to have to put extra defensive backs out there. Remember Blake Corum from Michigan? He's the backup for the Rams as well. I think it's going to be Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, run after run after run. And I just wanted to look up Kyren Williams. This year, he's got 62, 69, 97, 76, 102, 94, 89. So, like, he can run. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 touchdowns this year. He's averaging over 60 yards a game this year. 65 yards a game this year on the ground. Not bad. Let's take some calls here at 617-779-0985. Danny's in the car. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Joe. I had a funny feeling last week on the Patriots. Took them on the money line, and that was nice. I just had this weird feeling they were going to pull it out. This week, I'd have to agree with you guys. I think the Rams certainly should cover. And I wanted to talk about the positive things. So the positive note is we now have Drake May. And if all the crap that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years doesn't happen, we're not drafting Drake May. So I'd like to hang up and listen to your thoughts in New York.
All right. Hey, Drake May was asked if he thought he was the best quarterback in the draft. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later here. But, I mean, do I want them to miss the playoffs 4 years in a row just to draft Drake May? I don't think I wanted that. I don't think that's what I wanted, at least. But looks like they got the right guy. Speaking of that, Chris is in the car. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Jim, what's going on? Joe, Jim, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, the crazies are out. The crazies are out. Sorry, my bad. Ow! My bad, Joe. My apologies. You're not Jim. You're Joe.
Yes.
And Skaz, you're awesome too. So, Joe,
He's
based
Jim.
on that Drake though, so the other night you were talking about hypotheticals. So if you could go in the Wayback Machine, because Belichick was more of a Jaden Daniels guy, and like with the Pats, just to go away from Bill, so they would turn the page, going with Gerard, go with Drake May. What if you were the GM right now, Joe? If you were the GM and you could redraft, would you take the Drake, which I love the Drake, I'm a big Drake guy, but would you take Jaden Daniels if you were the GM? And before I let you go, Joe, I just want to thank you on the Dodgers pick. You picked that for me for the series. And a quick in and out, because I'm crazy. Are you in or out on a grilled chicken parm sub?
In. I just ate one on the way in, bro.
I love the Drake.
I love the Drake. A grilled chicken parm. So you mean like a grilled chicken with cheese, sauce? Are you provolone or American, Skaz?
Well, first you got to find a place that makes a good chicken parm.
How old is that?
Got to be 10 years.
No, it's got to be older.
Yeah, got 15 maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it might have been, right? So it would be a grilled chicken instead of the flour, egg, breadcrumb. You know what I use sometimes? Ritz crackers. And I sometimes use goldfish, too, as my breadcrumbish. What was his question? I got lost on at chicken parm. Grilled chicken. I like a grilled chicken, don't you?
Love some grilled chicken. I think he was wondering your thoughts on if there was an NFL redraft
this year,
if what the Patriots would do, but they wouldn't have a choice at 3.
They wouldn't have taken Caleb Williams, I don't think. It would have been a sideshow for them. The Crafts. This guy wanted a stake in the ownership. Out. Jaden Daniels was the pick. The only thing for me is Belichick wanted Jaden Daniels. So would they have gone with that because of him? There is a chance Drake May could have been the number 1 overall pick. There really is. If, again, the Patriots had the number 1 pick, but instead they kicked the field goal against the Broncos. And, Shane Humperdink's on the line. Hello, sir.
Hello, Joe. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I didn't have much to talk about, but I thought, what about the Celtics? Do you think they're gonna win 70 games and really go through the league, or just pace themselves and then crush everybody in the playoffs?
I'm sorry, what?
I want to know if the Celtics are more interested in having a good season, good regular season.
They're on pace to win 63 games.
63, so that's whatever. Fine.
I think the win total was 58.
Oh, okay. And then in the playoffs, go win in 5 games every series?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to just front run again, right?
Well, yeah.
That's what I think. All right. Well, I guess that's all I had to say.
No, I mean, what makes you think they can't do that?
No, I do think they can do that. But when I see them lose for the Hawks, I'm like, what are you doing? And it's like, they're not,
They didn't care.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're so good that they messed around and found out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just hope that they can turn that switch, and I think they can. They showed that they can.
Yeah.
So
they're even playing without a 7'4" guy who's an all-star.
I know. That's right. I keep forgetting that.
I know, huh? All right, Shane. Thank you. How do people forget about that big man, the 7'4" guy that was Porgy?
Last year, the Celtics lost on November 20th to the Charlotte Hornets. So I wouldn't be too worried. That's kind of what they do at times. It's a long season. I heard Max talking about it this morning with those guys that they're going to get everyone's best shot every night.
What guys?
Fred, Hardy.
Fred and Friends.
Fred and Friends, as you would call them.
Okay, all right.
Johnny Wallach.
John Wallach, huh? I was texting with Wallach this morning.
Love Johnny Wallach. But
do you know why I was texting with Wallach? Because I guess Wallach got upset with Fred about something a while back. And so they brought it up, and I wanted to know what it was. And then when Hardy told everybody what it was, Fred then said, "I'm a snarky a-hole." And I said, you know what? I respect that. I respect if somebody calls themselves a snarky a-hole. Because it was snarky, and it was a-hole-y, and you probably were upset after he said it. But the thing is that I respect it. Opposed to having good debates and being told who's the host of the show. Anyways, that's a topic for another day. 617-779-0985. Let's keep this going. This is fun. Sean's in the car. Hey, Sean.
Joe, thanks for taking my call. Love listening to you on a Friday night. Listen, I think you're just trying to be provocative when you say that last year's Patriots are better than this year's Patriots.
Yes.
I'm curious how you came up with that, because arguably this year they have one of the toughest schedules, and right now they already have 3 wins with about 10 games remaining. There's a good chance that they're going to eclipse their win total this year with what people are calling the worst roster in all of the NFL. So the coaching must be superior, and they're clearly going to end up being a better team. I think they're going to at least have 5 wins, which means they're going to have more wins than the previous year. So help me reconcile what you're saying.
Well, Sean, let's talk it out for a minute. How many people have been in trouble off the field this year compared to last year? How many issues are going on in the locker room this year compared to last year? How many things are leaked out last year compared to this year? Like, there are a lot of those intangibles.
You make a good point, but which team had more rookies, last year or this year? Because some of those players that you're referencing, I believe, are first-year players.
You mean that you think the talent on this year's team is better than the talent on last year's team?
Not on paper, no.
That's what I
because the offensive line. If we're just talking offensive line, then no.
That's what I'm saying.
If we're talking about defensive line, then no.
Last year's defense.
Yeah, right.
Last year's defense was better than this year's defense.
Okay, I guess what you're saying is more talented. But if you're talking about an actual better team, it has to come down to who has more wins.
Okay.
I think you're arguing different things.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, Joe, is that last year's roster was better than this year's roster, and I would agree with that. But this year's team, maybe they will be a better team because they're winning games and Drake May is playing at a better level. But Drake May came into the worst situation in football. That team last year had, a healthy David Andrews, Sidi So, Awenu, Trent Brown was on that team kind of. Gesicki was here. You had a much better Kendrick Bourne last year, a much better Ramondre Stevenson, I think, last year, even though he did struggle at the end of the season. And then on defense, you had guys like Lawrence Guy, a healthy Juwan Bentley, Jonathan Jones, so I agree with you that last year's team was more talented, but maybe they look better this year because of Drake. I think it's mostly because of Drake May, but if you want to give AVP and Mayo credit for that, I do think they deserve some credit, but I would pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see what happens against the Rams. Let's see what happens against, I believe they have the Cardinals coming up. It's a little early to be comparing the years, in my opinion.
I fully believe that Bill Belichick ran the team into the absolute ground last year with talent on the football field. Literally at one point knew Mac Jones was broken and kept putting him out there to embarrass Kraft, who wanted to bring in Bill O'Brien to make it work, who then went out and said, go get an offensive line coach, and they got Adrian Clem, and he didn't make it, and the line got worse, and I think Bill went down with the ship and was going to bury it as far deep as he could and leave them as depleted as possibly he could, and he did that. Aiden on Chicken Parm. Hi, Aiden.
Yeah, what's going on, Joe? Best chicken parm around. I know you were talking about American cheese or provolone, but provolone's the way to go, and there's no better place to get one than Lambert's.
Oh, baby.
Also wanted your thoughts on Castellanos leaving. Don't know what's going on there.
I think it's a baby move.
Reno.
I think it's a baby. Listen, I don't know what's going on there. I haven't talked to anybody. I can go talk to my buddy Stoney or John Serenides, who he tried to have on, but he's got a football game tonight, so he can't call in. But I think Castellanos Castellanos got benched last week because it was windy, and they wanted to go with a quarterback who could throw the ball in the wind against Syracuse, and he took his ball and he went home. And I feel like that's a bad move on his behalf.
Bill O'Brien comes in. They start the season 3-0. They're ranked 24, and the wheels just fall off, and you're 5-4. And
they didn't really fall off.
Game
Castellanos got hurt. Their backup came in and won a game.
That is true.
They went back to Castellanos and they lost.
Yeah, but the offense is there. I feel like every game that they played, that Louisville game was a tough loss, but the offense was there. You got SMU coming up. You're probably going to get the
Doors blown
kicked
this
out of
week.
you.
I don't know if we swore or not. I don't know. Did you hear it? Did you hear us swear or no? You did? Yep. Okay. That one snuck through there. Oh, baby. Yo, Lambert. So we have hats here. There's Lambert's hats here. Okay, I got 30 seconds before we go to break. Lambert's, I don't eat salad. Everyone knows that. But they have the greatest salad bar I've ever seen. They also have an a la carte wings, rice plates, you name it. But what they really have that you all need is their calzones. And right now they got themselves a gobbler. Thanksgiving calzone, the gobbler. Oh, baby. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Oh.
Sports Hub headlines.
Well, I didn't write any headlines, but you know what? We got Patriots and we got Rams, and they played this weekend, and no one was on the injury report. Can you believe?
Kraft's called around the league doing research on how to handle a young quarterback. In your opinion, is this overstepping and undermining the head coach that Robert Kraft claims he handpicked 4 years ago?
Well, I mean, it's just, the Krafts wanted to run the team. They're running their team. They're doing what they feel like is in the best interest of their team. I think that's what they are. I mean, the reason they got rid of Coach Belichick was because they wanted to control their team. And I think this is further evidence of how they want to. Would they have done this if Bill were in the chair? No, they wouldn't have to. Bill would already have the answer for him. But obviously somebody doesn't have the answer for him in the building, so they're seeking out advice. I find it interesting, It does, look, they've got a very inexperienced head coach. I know they've won 2 in a row, but, let's face it. I mean, they haven't beaten anybody of substance. I know the Bears game was a good win for them, but the things will get tougher this week against the Rams.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Oh, sabotage. I crank it a little bit. By the way, this video, when it came out, they all had mustaches and dressed like detectives. Right? Good video. Suspenders and a tie. This was the Ill Communication, and I believe License to Ill came out 38 years ago today. That's a wild documentary if you want to watch one, by the way. The Beastie Boys? Think about a band, a group of dudes that grew up in the 80s and that were jerks, drinking every night. Just imagine the debauchery they went through. The trials and tribulations of that band. Woo! Still love them, though. Still love Mike Tyson. Horrible person. But we're all going to watch tonight, right? 617-779-0985. I don't know if Mike Lombardi's a horrible person. I don't know. You know what he is, though? He is loyal as hell to Bill Belichick, though. Was Mike Lombardi in debt after losing all his bets and Bill Belichick paid it off? Why the love for Bill so much? Why? That I won't understand, but you know what? Guys, I hope you care about me as much as Mike Lombardi cares about Bill Belichick.
Joe, I don't know if that's humanly possible. I don't know if anybody cares as much about anyone as Mike Lombardi cares about Bill Belichick.
Oh, my God. This guy. Oh, they're calling around. You know why? Why? And actually, believe it or not, Lombardi actually gave some really good juicy stuff because he's saying, I think, what Bill is saying and what I think we want to say, but we're not saying it. So I'm going to break it down for you real easily. The Krafts are involved. The Krafts are involved. The Krafts are involved. Specifically, Jonathan Kraft is involved. We said this all along. I asked 1,000 times this offseason if Jonathan Kraft was involved. And I got the, no, they want nothing to do with the operations. And then why are they calling around? Then Alex Van Pelt goes on the predecessor show. And what does he say? Well, I'll tell you what he said. We won't play you the sound, obviously. But Alex Van Pelt weighs in on the development of rookie Drake May, then goes on to say the coaching staff doesn't need any help with Drake May, and they know how to get him ready. In response to the Albert Breer report about the Patriots calling around. But Lombardi wants to tell you that they're calling around because they don't know what they're doing, which I also agree with. So, really, I don't think Lombardi's saying anything wrong. But at the same time, I think he threw in some things that the Crafts even got involved when Belichick was here too.
Take Lombardi and take AVP's comments out of it. If the report is true, how do you feel about them just in general asking for help outside the organization?
Well, what we talked about yesterday was they mocked Mac Jones for it.
Well, you basically put him in timeout. Sit in the corner, face the wall. But I think it's different.
Question. I thought about this when I went home last night. Do you think it was the Crafts who talked to Mac Jones about calling elsewhere? Because it was Bill who was pissed.
Well, I bet you they were pissed too because of how it made them look. It makes your organization look incompetent, that you can't handle a young rookie QB, and maybe they're trying to get out ahead of that this time. So I don't, if it's true, or based off of if it's true, I don't fault them for looking for help outside the organization, but that should be a red flag for them that they need to look for help outside the organization.
All right, we'll continue this one. There's a lot of meat on it. It's like that turkey leg I was telling you about. Topsfield Fair or the Big Easy, that big, I walked around with a turkey leg once, and I had the big bone. I went, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? Anyways, Adam wants to crap all over Belichick.
Hey, guys, yeah. One of the biggest complaints I have against the Belichick sycophants is that, he didn't really want Mac. Yeah, he was very ready to go for cashed Cam Newton. We're on it next week was like, hey, Cam only threw for 90 yards. Are you going to change quarterbacks? Like, well, he threw for 300 the week before. Guy's a fraud. I can't wait till he gets a job next year so he can land on his face. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you. He was being loyal to Cam. He knew that Mac wasn't ready to go. I hated it too. But at the time, I will say this, I was rooting for Mac Jones, and I think Belichick was too, and he took him by the hand. Remember, after a loss, he held him by the hand, and they did everything right with Bill in year one. I do think that they screwed Bill. They screwed him up. I think they screwed him up. I can sit here today, as Ric Flair would say, with a tear in my eye, that once they gave him Matt Patricia, it was over. It was over. Steve's in South Boston. Hey, Steve.
Joseph, good evening. Boys, good evening. Got a food in or out for you, Joe.
Great.
Okay. Burger, fries, milkshake as the drink. No water, no soda. Burger, fries, milkshake, any flavor milkshake. Milkshake as the drink. Are you in or out?
Absolutely in.
That's the only right answer, Joe. I knew that you were going to come through.
No, I mean, Five Guys have Tasty Burger has it too, right?
Yeah.
Remember Pulp Fiction? You get that big burger and they ordered a $10 milkshake and he was all pissed about it?
Yeah. You know what else is pretty good, by the way? We don't have them up in Boston, but you do Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah.
Chick-fil-A burger, waffle fries, and a milkshake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one in Dedham.
Sneaky good.
There's one in Dedham
I
go to all the time.
Cookout is the place for this. Cookout down south. You hit a Cookout, they got great milkshakes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in on
all
that,
right,
though.
boys.
We got in or out in 1 hour. Thank you. Didn't mean to hang up on you there.
Callers getting in on the in or out game early. I like it.
In.
Yeah, that was an easy. That was a layup.
All right, one more because this seems interesting. Matt's in Rhode Island. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? I don't know if you've come down to Federal Hill, I'm sure, but the next time you do, Camille's for a sit-down dinner, absolutely the best chicken parm. But if you come down for lunch, please go to Roma Gourmet because you can get lunch, and it's a family-style type of thing. So you can take home dinner, and the prices are outrageously good.
I think Romo. I think they have Dom. I don't know. My buddy Dom. I know he sends steak tips to them. I think.
The steak and cheese there with the steak tips is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just absolutely thrashes anything like Jersey Mike's or D'Angelo's. It's the real deal. I just wanted to add, I think the Celtics are going to win. I have a bet, just like you, that they're going to win it all. But I really like to see them get on the offensive defensive glass a little bit. When they are losing these games, they're getting severely out rebound. But I don't think it's the end of the world. But I do think it could be something to look at. Thanks, Jeff. Have a good night.
All right, man. Camille's. I'm gonna look up Camille's, but the other one, the Romos, it's like a gourmet market. I know about it. Federal Hill. You ever been up there, Skaz? That's a good area.
Been a while, but yeah, been up there a couple times.
Imagine a road trip to Providence. All I can think of is Departed. You guys sound like you're from Providence. Hey, they're in the store. They're in like Bova's trying to get the money from the guy. And he's like, hey, guys, and then he just smashes him he breaks his hand. The suits looked like they said they were from Providence, remember? As they were trying to bury him near our old work. Dorchester. When I tell you to bury a body in the marsh, you bury a body in the marsh. I won't finish that line as we go to break here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. This hour of The Sports has been brought to you by Comcast. With an advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and trusted partnership, Comcast Business powers more business than anyone. Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more. I'm Joe Murray, and don't bury a body in the marsh.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Rams offensive line may be out for this one. Celtics off until tomorrow when they take on the Toronto Raptors. And the Bruins, well, they lost again last night. And, well, nobody really knows what's going to happen to them or with their coach. But they take on the Blues tomorrow. And they're heavy favorites, minus 215. Headlines, they are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Boston Celtics. Mention 98.5 The Sports Hub and get 10% off your new roof. Visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Boom.
Yeah.
It's a buddy.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I think they have to do their due diligence of finding out, okay, Juan Soto, he comes to Boston. What are the benefits besides the on-base percentage, besides his ability and opportunity of being able to win? And, oh, by the way, let's also show him what the park configuration numbers would be for 81 games played at Fenway Park. Yes, this year, Juan Soto more than ever pulled the baseball, where he in the past used to drive the ball more to left field. He had a higher rate of it. It's not like the Red Sox need a left-handed bat, right? I mean, they have Duran, they have Devers, they have Casas, they have Yoshida, they have Abreu right now, and they have David Hamilton slotted in to be the second baseman. So they have plenty of lefties. But Juan Soto is a different beast. And they understand also the community. As a matter of fact, yesterday I went to the Mango Grill and Cafe here in Miami in Hialeah.
You did?
Yes, I did. And the owner, Jose, moved down to Miami 13 years ago from where?
From
Boston. And he was the one that used to feed Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz. He was, they brought him food from his restaurant. Still has it over there. And it's the community, the Dominican community that's big in Boston. And I would not be surprised if Devers Garita is a part of this. Like saying, look, we want you here, and these are the reasons why. Give him the sound.
Because there's nobody really more tapped in on baseball than Jared, so I'm just going to leave it to him. But let's talk. Could they have Devers and Soto on the team at the same time?
Yes.
Would they subtract one for the other?
I don't think that makes any sense.
Is there any value for Rafael Devers?
Of course there's value there, but why would you sign Juan Soto to get rid of your second best player? You sign Juan Soto to help Rafael Devers.
Left-handers.
So get rid of a left-handed hitter that is not nearly as good as Rafael Devers.
Well, I just feel like that's what they're going to do, Skess. Everything that you say, they're going to be like, well, we don't need this guy.
Well, I think it's Wilyer Abreu. His name's been mentioned.
I don't care if you want to go glove, see you, buddy.
Well, yeah, trade him for Garrett Crochet. I think that's something you could do. I don't know. Obviously, that's not enough. You're going to have to add more to that. But I would be if you're signing Soto to deal Devers, then what's the point? You're maybe in a marginally better spot, but the whole point of signing Soto is adding him to Rafael Devers.
So John Morosi, who I like, local guy, this is what he wrote regarding, he's from MLB Network. He still thinks Soto's inevitably going to sign with a New York team, either the Yankees or the Mets.
It's going to be the Mets, if I had to guess.
Lifshot said that to me last night.
Steve Cohen's going to give him a blank check. Because he's that rich.
The Jays not having Vlad signed to a long-term deal gives Soto pause. Thinks the Red Sox would be more appealing because Rafael Devers is locked up. There you go. The meeting can help the Sox with other Boris free agents, even if they don't sign Soto. I can see that one happening. Where did they meet? Did they meet him, where's he from? California, I assume, probably. I mean, we can go to the Bonnie restaurant in Rosendale's. Great Dominican food there. Jamaica plan. We can have a field day of Dominican food if we wanted to do that. I don't think I talk enough about the Dominican food. Love some Dominican food. But yeah, guys, the part of having Devers locked up is a reason potentially Soto would stay here. So that's all I have on this thing. I just don't believe it, but I do like the angle of maybe they're bringing Boris in. Here's the one thing that pissed me off. Listen to this one. The Red Sox hold their first free agent meeting with Juan Soto. No money or contract terms were discussed. But Soto said he was impressed with what the Red Sox had to say. That was according to Sean McAdam. No money was discussed? The hell we doing here? No money? No problems.
Yeah, I'm with you. That stood out to me as well. But the only way I can think of it is why it could be a good move for the Red. Maybe they're waiting. Let us know what you get offered, and we'll match or we'll better it. Do I think that's what they're doing? No. But if you're looking for some sort of positive spin, maybe that was their approach was, let's not discuss the number. Here's David Ortiz. Here's Rafael Devers, Pedro, all these guys. I know Cora was there, Breslow. The one thing that stood out to me more than the money was John Henry not in attendance. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I would imagine Red Sox fans have mixed feelings on John Henry not attending that meeting. But maybe they say, look, let's not even get into the money. We're going to tell you why being a Red Sox is great, what it means to be on the Boston Red Sox, and then let us know the numbers you get from the Mets, from the Yankees, and then we can have the real discussion. When we know what the number is, we'll give you our number. Do I have hopes that that's, their approach? No. But if you're looking for an angle where maybe a positive approach, that would be my one thought.
Okay. Well, I have decided that if Juan Soto signed with the Red Sox, I'd go Soto crazy. And I told you when I went to Saratoga, I sat in a cigar shop in New York, and they were complaining about Soto's defense. It was on the front page of whatever New York paper I was reading, and I was listening to the sports radio in there. They were upset with Soto. I was laughing. I'm like, you should see the Red Sox in their outfield. I know a couple of guys won Gold Gloves, but I'll take Soto. Soto in left field, he'd play there forever. He'd just be another lineage of great left fielders for the Red Sox. He's already got a ring. It's about the money now. Yeah, you want to ring Washington, right, Soto? Am I wrong about that? Tell me I'm wrong.
You are correct.
Yes!
You are correct.
I won!
2019.
See?
Bryce Harper was not on that team, I believe. That's who I was thinking of. He did not win a ring.
He's got his ring. Now he's going to get his money. Hey, I'm going to talk to Brian Barrett from The Ringer coming up in just a little bit. We'll get his thoughts on Soto. Eric's in the car. Hey, Eric. Eric. Hey, Eric. 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 He wanted to talk about chicken versus fish.
I'm going to guess that's a one-sided matchup for you.
I like some fish.
Go-to fish.
Tuna?
You're not gonna order tuna at a restaurant, are you? Like if you were to get
Is lobster considered a fish?
It's a crustacean, but yeah, I'll give it to you. Seafood.
I love lobster.
You and Steve and I
love lobster. Bottom feeders. You know what I don't love?
Always ass.
You know what I don't love? Could really give her. I'll eat it, but it's like a no-no for me. Fish and chips. Like that haddock type fish does nothing for me. I feel like I need to dip it in sauces. Plus the texture. You know what everyone tells me they love and I never eat it? Salmon. You ever had salmon?
Yeah, salmon's pretty good.
I don't want to waste it. That's why I don't eat it. What else is a fish? Give me another fish. What other fish do people eat? Yeah, like the Italians growing up, the 7 fishes.
Oh, yeah, Feast of the 7 Fishes, Joe.
I'm not eating all that stuff.
We're coming right up to that season.
Yeah, but like the octopus, out.
Oh, octopus is good, Joe.
Well, I like calamari.
Calamari, yeah.
Love calamari. The rest of the fishes, though, you can go sleep with them. What else? What other fish is there?
Cod.
Yeah.
Sardines. You a sardines guy, Joe? What about oysters? You do oysters or mussels?
No.
Yeah, love mussels.
What about fried clams?
Oh, yeah. Swordfish?
Oh, you know what I love? Scallops.
Oh, yeah, scallops and bacon.
Oh,
Can't go wrong.
baby. That's like the perfect wedding appetizer. I go to a wedding. I want champagne. I want scallops wrapped in bacon. Prime rib. Dessert. You know, some people don't do cake anymore.
Boo.
What's up with that? You know what happens a lot to me now is I'm a dancer. I like to dance. When I go to the tie's wrapped around my head halfway through the night like Rambo. But sometimes I'm having too much fun. They've passed the cake out and I missed it. I was telling our buddies the other night, they came by, the Sweet Knots guys. Your buddy there?
Sweet Needs.
Sweet Needs, sorry. I'm sorry. Sweet Needs. I call them Sweet Knots. I'm sorry. But I was telling him, because they make great donuts, okay? That the best thing after a wedding, when you leave, is having something to offer your guests, like a goodie bag or something. I went to one once and the sausage guy was outside. Imagine going to a wedding, dancing the night away and about to leave, and the sausage guy and street meats outside.
Bro, when I just went out to Cali, shout out the Cyberts, just got married, my buddy Trey. They had an In-N-Out truck on the way out. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's amazing.
In-N-Out for everybody on the way out.
Perfect. But our buddy needs to go. He needs to do that. Like, imagine donuts.
A donut bar.
Oh, we got a guest coming up, so don't call right now. But at some point, I would like to know what people have had, like post-wedding treats. Remember when we were kids? Did everybody get a grab bag with like candy and like all that stuff in it? Does that still exist? I don't have kids, so I don't know anything about kids. I love to give them candy and get them all riled up and then give them back to you, but. Yeah, everyone had grab bags as a kid. I wonder if they still have those. All right, we're going to talk to Brian Barrett. He's from The Ringer. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. Definitely a full moon tonight. The chat's on fire for everybody hanging out on the YouTube chat. Back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. Rocking my 98.5 The Sports Hub sweatshirt. And when I walked into this place, this guy goes, I listen to the Sports Hub all the time. I go, oh, cool, man. Who's your favorite? And the guy goes, Jim Murray. And I said, oh, cool. I love Jim. He goes, yeah, he's such a stoner like me. And I was like, yeah, man, me too. And I just walked away from him. So, Jim Murray, there's a fan for you at a CVS in Waltham. One of our other fan favorites, his name is Brian Barrett. He works for The Ringer, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Brian. How are you, sir?
Joe, what's going on, man? I guess I'm getting ready to watch Mike Tyson box tonight, which in my youth, I never got to experience this. So I don't know. Is this like getting to watch Larry Bird now? Like, as I obviously never saw Larry Bird play. So is this like basically getting to watch Tyson fight now? I don't know how to interpret this.
So I watched Mike Tyson fight. I watched a lot of Mike Tyson. And everything I watched of Mike Tyson in my heyday, he was like in jail. And then, like, bit some guy's ear off, who was Evander Holyfield. The Riddick. There was a lot of stuff there. So, actually, a lot of the Mike Tyson stuff in my lifetime was all bad stuff. He has a great marijuana line right now, though.
Really?
Yeah, yep. And, and he's got a good podcast that they get high and they just talk about stuff all day. But, yes, there is this fight tonight. I'm actually kind of excited for it because I like a dumpster fire, and I think that's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, well, the thing I'm excited about is this is awesome from Netflix perspective, right? Like, if you have Netflix, you don't have to pay for it. You think about all these fights you buy, like obviously the UFC tomorrow night's on ESPN Plus, you have to pay for it. I think it's kind of cool that Netflix is just like, hey, if you have a Netflix subscription, you can actually watch this fight tonight. So, and look, Paul is, I'm not telling you like he's this great boxer, but it's pretty amazing that this guy that never boxed before is all of a sudden like he's competent. And my whole thing about it, I'm not trying to get too much into the weeds about this, Joe, but it's like I kind of feel like Tyson's going to knock him out early, right? Because he's 58. How can he last like more than 5-6 rounds?
I don't either, but a lot of people are betting the over, which I don't understand. But you know, you mentioned tomorrow night's UFC, John Jones and Stipe Miocic. Like, I would have loved that fight years ago, but I mean, I didn't think I'd see John Jones back in the ring again either. So we're going to get a taste of Mike Tyson tonight. You know, Bones Jones tomorrow. I mean, we're getting now like outside of NBA. You know, during the football season and NBA season, we're getting some different types of sports. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I feel like with Bones Jones, obviously, like he's considered to be the pound for pound greatest of all time. I know you can debate that, but I mean, the guy basically has never lost a fight. The one fight that essentially he lost was a DQ. It's just these absences have been so long, and the fact that it's Stipe, that's the thing that doesn't have me as interested as much. But it's John Bones Jones. I mean, how do you not watch that fight tomorrow night, right? Like you have to watch it just because it's Bones Jones.
You're right there. What do you put the chances of the Red Sox getting Juan Soto? What do you have for us? I read John Morosi's report. Sean McAdam has one as well. What do you got on Juan Soto?
I find it interesting that they met for 3 hours and money was never discussed. Isn't that kind of like the whole part of the meeting that you need to discuss, right? I mean, obviously I would love to have him, Joe. He was my favorite non-Red Sox before last season because he played for the Yankees. I mean, the numbers on this guy are ridiculous. I mean, since 2019, he's second in wins above replacement. He's first in on-base percentage. He's first in walk rate. He's fourth in OPS. He's sixth in home runs. He's basically the perfect offensive player. The thing that aggravates me about the whole Soto situation, and I understand that some people think that, hey, Mookie Betts just never wanted to be here. But if you look at Mookie Betts' contract right now, he's basically making $30 million per season, give or take, right around that area. And what Soto wants is a contract until he's 39, right? And we just saw Aaron Judge get a contract that pays him $40 million per season. Soto's going to get at the low end $40 million per season. If he takes a shorter-term deal, he actually probably could get $50 million per season. So it's amazing to me that Soto's a top 5 player in the game. Judge is a top 5 player in the game. Mookie's a top 5 player in the game. I mean, you could argue if Mookie's like maybe right outside the top 5, I would argue top 5. But how poorly the Red Sox like misinterpreted what the market was going to be. Like Mookie's deal, and I know it's crazy to say about a guy that's making $30 million, but his deal is actually a bargain because Soto's going to make $40 million and Judge is going to make $40 million per season. Like the fact that they read that situation so poorly still, I mean, it kills Red Sox fans and myself included to this day because we just saw him win another World Series. And when he needed to make the critical play, hey, hit the ball in the air, get the run in, he did that. And I would love to have Soto. Like if they have Soto, that would be awesome. It's just like, dude, you already had this guy in the organization. You chose not to keep him.
Yeah. And I was just asking Skaz about this, but, you know, Devers and him on the same team, it sounds like it's a reason why he would come here, but I'm just curious long term would the Red Sox want to pay both those guys who are both left-handed as well?
Yeah, I mean, the left-handed thing doesn't affect me as much. Like, I'm fine with that. If you have two of, like, let's say hypothetically, I mean, Devers is a top 10 slugger in the game, right? Obviously, Soto's a top 5 slugger in the game. I'm fine with that. And I think the thing that Soto does help you out with is the Red Sox now, if you sign Juan Soto, and obviously this is a big hypothetical, and let me be clear, I don't think they'll end up landing him. I think he'll end up somewhere else. But it does actually give you the ability to move some of the top-tier guys in your farm system. Not that you're going to move Roman Anthony, but say, hey, you signed Soto. Well, hey, now you can free yourself up for if you really want that Garrett Crochet trade, right? Because then you can say, well, we can trade Marcelo Meyer, right? We can put Willie or Abreu in that package, maybe even another big leaguer and maybe another prospect in that package because you have one of the 5 best offensive players in Major League Baseball to go along with another one that is a top 10 player in Major League Baseball in terms of just from the offensive side in Rafael Devers. So I think it just gives you so many opportunities. Like, I love the big 3 that the Red Sox have in terms of the farm system, but the one thing really it's turning into a big 4 at this particular point in time. But the one thing I would say is like, Juan Soto changes everything. It's very rare that you have the ability to sign this type of player. And the Red Sox actually, if they get this opportunity, you better bring him in here because that changes everything. I mean, this guy, and the other thing about it is, well, you get to take him away from the Yankees. How sweet would that be? He spends 1 year in New York and then he leaves. And if the Yankees lose Juan Soto, they're screwed. Like, what's their plan? They can't sign anybody near his talent.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do, but they always seem to figure it out when it comes to the Yankees. We're talking to Brian Barrett. He's from The Ringer. I know you had some stuff, some stats regarding Tatum and Brown and how the Celtics are with them off the floor to on the floor, and it sounds like they're getting to the free throw line a lot more this year.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, especially with Jalen in particular. So Jalen this season has gone from last year 4.3 free throw attempts per game. He's all the way up to 8. If he qualified, which he will after the game on Saturday night, he'd be in the top 10 free throw attempts per game. Tatum right now is almost at 9 free throw attempts per game. He's up nearly, or actually over 2 attempts per game. He's 3rd in the NBA right now. Tatum's the only player in the league right now that is actually top 5 in the NBA in both free throw attempts and 3-point makes per game, which is just a ridiculous combo because it just shows you like all his outlying numbers have been great throughout his career. But the fact that the shot has been more consistent, and even if he has these games where he goes 2 of 12, he's going to have another game where he goes 5 of 6 from 3, or he goes 6 of 12 for 3. And with Jalen, the thing that sticks out to me is transition numbers are awesome. He's 3rd in the NBA in transition points per game, so he gets out of the break and he pushes it. And with Tatum, what we found out over the past couple of years is we know how good he is defensively, and his playmaking, he's up to over 5 assists per game. He's having his best playmaking season. So that's what I'm stunned about because there were so many years where if you look at the Jalen Tatum numbers, like Tatum was always good with Jalen off the court, but now the past couple of years, like the numbers with Jalen on without Tatum, 132.2 offensive rating this year, which would obviously be by far the best in the NBA. And that number was low in previous seasons. Like it was great last year, 122.8, but from 17 through 2023, it was 110.7, which is very marginal. So I think that speaks because last year you could say, oh, well, he had Porzingis, right? Him and Porzingis had this great 2-man game. Well, he doesn't have him anymore. And I think the one thing that sticks out to me about Jalen is I don't know how many other players are as athletically intimidating as he is right now in terms of stopping him from getting to a spot. Like, obviously you have Giannis, but Giannis is more of a big. the guy that Jalen is starting to remind me of, and I'm not saying he's this player because although this player had a finals MVP as well, you know who he reminds me of right now is Dwayne Wade. And I feel like this combo they have on the wing right now with Tatum and Brown is the closest thing. And I'm not saying Tatum is LeBron James, but it's the closest thing we've had to the Heatles. Remember, like, it was basically supposed to be Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Tatum and Jaylen Brown have turned into that in terms of those guys are both elite defenders, especially what Jaylen can do on the ball. And Tatum's one of the best off-ball defenders in the entire NBA. And then what they've done offensively, like, it's crazy to me that these guys keep getting better. Tatum and Brown are both better than they were a year ago. It's crazy that you almost don't notice that Porzingis isn't there.
I know. We were just talking about it. They were on the same, pace, I guess. They're on a 63-game pace this year. Last year they won 64 games, and they're doing all this without Kristaps Porzingis. I got a couple of things I wanted to bring up to you real quick. The Peyton Pritchard contract, look at that thing right now. I know Brad Stevens gets a lot of credit for the moves he's made, but to get that guy at $6.6 million a year when he could have walked and got a ton more in free agency, like, was just what a hell of a deal getting Peyton Pritchard in.
Joe, that is one of the best pieces of business that we've seen in the NBA, and I don't want to be hyperbolic, but in recent history. Because, first of all, think about where the player was at. Peyton Pritchard, remember, he asked for a trade. He wanted to be traded because, remember, that's when Marcus was still here, so he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. There was games where he wasn't playing. You look at Peyton Pritchard now. Before the season, I actually gave this out of my pod. He was plus 6,000 to win the Sixth Man of the Year. You know what he's up to right now? Plus 250, which is just insane.
Plus 4,000.
Right now,
plus 4,000
yeah.
was I gave it out on the show.
Unreal. So right now, you look at his numbers, right? He's averaging 16.2 per game. And by the way, I love that Pritchard the other night, he almost took blame for the loss against Atlanta because he said he didn't bring essentially the energy. Like, they didn't respect the opponent, like it was his fault that they lost that game, which I love that because I do think besides the numbers, there's a real impact, right? Like, he picks up the pace, he plays really hard. But you look at his numbers, 16.2 per game. He's shooting 42.7% from deep on 9 attempts. There are 5 players right now in the NBA that are taking 9 3-point attempts per game and hitting north of 40%. 2 of them are on the Celtics. It's Derek White and it's Peyton Pritchard. The other 3 are elite shooters. We're talking about Tyler Heroes having an outstanding season. We're talking about Steph Curry, and we're talking about Anthony Edwards, who's a top 10 player in the game. I mean, his impact is ridiculous right now, and you're exactly right. And we talk all the time about the big moves that the Celtics have made. Obviously, drafting Tatum is huge. Drafting Jaylen Brown is huge. The Derek White trade is unbelievable. The Drew trade was sort of obvious. Hey, if you can make that trade, make it. The Porzingis trade is awesome. But the player development from this organization, Pritchard was a 4-year guy at Oregon. Hauser was a guy that wasn't even drafted. Cornette, I'm not saying he's a great player, but this guy that was on a bunch of 10-day contracts. Keita is somebody that nobody even heard of, right? He's the first NBA player from Portugal. The Kings didn't want him. He's been absolutely outstanding for the Celtics. And I'm not saying I feel confident with him in a playoff series, but he's giving you quality minutes. So it's sort of the underrated part of this organization. They've hit all the big moves, but they've been really good as it pertains to player development and some of these finds they've had. And Pritchard is unreal. I really can't believe how good he is.
I believe it. I always knew he was a great player in college. Always knew it. I just thought his defense would be the issue, and so far, yeah, I like how you mentioned the other night he was pretty upset that he didn't have the energy, and then he certainly brought it. The next night, we're all anticipating this Cavs game on Tuesday night. What should we know? I mean, we saw them in the playoffs last year. What's different this year?
All right, so the first thing is Kenny Atkinson has been really good for Evan Mobley, where it's hey, we drafted the guy number 2 overall, and it felt weird that they were so gung-ho on making him shoot threes, where it's hey, this is no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell is never going to be the best player on a team that wins a championship, right? He's not in the same class as Jason Tatum. He's just not. I mean, he's a guard, and he's not as dynamic as Tatum. He's not, smaller guards, the only guys you see doing it, being the best player in a championship team in recent NBA history is Steph Curry. He's the greatest shooter of all time. It's just not going to be Donovan Mitchell. And they've given Mobley a better opportunity. Hey, we get him driving lanes. We get him mismatches. So that's the first thing, is they're much better with that. They do an outstanding job staggering their 2 guards when I'm talking about Garland and Mitchell. And then, of course, Allen and Mobley. The things that have me I don't know if I believe they're as big of a threat as their record would indicate. And I do believe truly that the Celtics would need Porzingis for this matchup, in a potential playoff series, because Porzingis can bring, whether it's Allen or Mobley, obviously out of the paint into the 3-point line. But there's two things. First of all, the Celtics' two best players are wings. We all know this is Tatum and Brown. I don't know if they have the guys to cover them, right? I don't think Mobley can cover one of those guys, and I don't think Okoro can cover one of those guys as their traditional three. And clearly, we know Max Strus, when he gets healthy, can't do it. So that's the first thing. Is I don't think they match up well with the Celtics from that perspective. The other thing is this, Joe. Their shooting is just never going to hold up. They have 5 guys in their rotation shooting north of 40% from deep. So LeVert is shooting 45%. He's 34.3% for his career. That's not going to hold up. Garland will probably be a 40% shooter, but he's 38.7% for his career. He's almost 45% this year. That'll come down a little bit. Mitchell's at 40.7%. He's at 36.7% for his career. Ty Jerome, who really has never had a career in the NBA, he's played well for them, 36% for his career. He's at 57.7% right now. And then you look at Okoro. This is the big one. He's at 48.5%. He's a 35.2% shooter from deep. So I don't think their 3-point numbers will hold up. And if we're just looking forward to a potential playoff series, I don't think they have the bodies to guard Tatum and Brown. But I think this is going to be an awesome game on Tuesday, because we all know that the Celtics have played a lot of big games in Cleveland. I mean, you go when we first probably thought that Jason Tatum was a superstar was when he dunked on LeBron against the Cavaliers, right? So the one thing that aggravates me about that arena is the PA announcer is just so loud when he announces the bucket for their player. But I think it's going to be an interesting game. And I do think this is the biggest threat to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. Karl Anthony Towns, as great as he's been offensively, he's legitimately, by the numbers, the worst rim protector in the NBA. He can't play center. That's why they traded for Rudy Gobert. He can't play center on defense. I mean, Philadelphia, Embiid looks like he's out of shape. That situation is a mess with the injuries. Giannis, he had 59 the other night, but a guy missed 2 free throws. That's the only way they won that game. They have so many guys that they can attack there. So I do think, if you're looking forward to the playoffs, this is the biggest threat. I think the Magic are also a threat when they get Banchero healthy. I just don't think they have enough offensive punch, but I do think this will be the team that the Celtics are sort of sizing up. And I also would say that I think the Celtics are going to want to send a message on Tuesday night. They're going to be up for this game.
All right, before I let you go, any thoughts on Rams-Patriots?
Yeah, right now, the last time I saw the line was 4.5, and man, I thought the Rams were horrible on Monday night, but if you look at all the numbers, they outgained Miami. And they were able to move the ball. They just couldn't do anything when they got into the red zone.
Field goals and missed field goals.
Yeah, and turnovers. And I thought Tua was actually awful in that game. I think that the Rams are going to cover that 4.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I was encouraged with some of the stuff we saw last week. I like the fact that they're getting Booty involved in the receiving game. His numbers against man coverage have been awesome. I just think that the Rams are going to have some success moving the ball against the Patriots defense. The Patriots defense played really well last week, but can we kind of attribute that to the Bears offense? They just fired their offensive coordinator. They had both their tackles out. Caleb Williams looks awful, by the way, which that's a whole nother discussion. I watched Jaden Daniels too last night. I don't know, the big 6'4" guy from North Carolina. I kind of like him right now. Jaden Daniels was the talk of the NFL for a long time, but I think that the Bears offense is sort of confusing us on what the Patriots defense did last week. I think that was more, and look, I give Jeremiah Farms, that's an awesome story. The guy played for the Wichita Force that I had never heard of, an indoor football league or whatever it was. But I really do truly believe that the Patriots defense just benefited last week from that Bears offense. That Bears team, I didn't realize how much of an embarrassment they were. I wish I knew that before the game, because I would have bet it against the Bears instead of on the Bears.
I bet the Bears last week, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not falling for it again. What I mean is I'm going back to the well. I got Rams, and I don't. Yeah. I know. One more for you. I know we're up against it, but it's Friday night. There's a full moon, and everyone's been calling about crazy stuff. So why not, right?
And Tyson's fighting, so
that's
crazy
true.
Night.
I mean, like literally, a 58-year-old boxer is going at it against a YouTube guy, for real. But this whole Van Pelt and the Patriots calling around And, Skaz brings up that last year Mac Jones was criticized for calling outside the organization, but now the Patriots are doing it like it's okay now. Do you believe it? Do you think they are calling? Do you think they are happy with Van Pelt? Do you think Van Pelt's hearing the noise? Because today he said, yeah, we know how to get him ready. I mean, is it the quarterback or is it Van Pelt? What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. So first of all, we've talked about this before, Joe. We talked about it on my pod too. I'm not the biggest fan of Van Pelt. I don't understand sort of his resume, why you hired him. He hadn't called plays since the Obama administration, right? But I actually this is a weird week for this conversation to come up, and I know I just basically said it was because of the Bears defense, but they actually started to do things last week. Like Drake May's play action numbers were way up. It went from 19.7% of his dropbacks to 24.1%. When he was kept clean, Drake May's numbers were actually awesome in that game. So I actually thought for the first time all season long, they actually dialed some things up. With all that being said, Drake May is the most important piece of this organization going forward. And if you have a chance to upgrade at that position, I would be doing it. They've got to do a better job of not leaking that information out. How is it out there that they're looking around for other offensive coordinators? I just feel like that's a bad job by the brain trust, if you will. And like I said, I'm not against it. If you tell me at the end of the season they move on from Alex Van Pelt and they bring somebody else, remember, we heard that they wanted somebody from the Shanahan tree, right, the McVay tree. What if now Nick Caley wants the job, right? Remember Nick Caley last year didn't want the job? What if he wants it this year? And I trust that tree, right? I mean, we see all these guys that coach with McVay and Shanahan, the LaFleurs of the world. These guys have been really successful. So I wouldn't be against that whatsoever. I just feel like it's sloppy that after you win a game, the offensive coordinator is answering these type of questions and these rumors are out there. I don't like that from an organizational standpoint.
Mac Jones did it. It was insubordination, though, so it's just really bad.
How about Mac last week?
I know. How about Mac with I bet an interception and I hit it. I was happy.
Oh, wow.
That. They're 14-point dogs this week. Actually, 15.5 right now to the Lions. Oof.
Yeah, if you're betting against the Lions at this point, God bless you, because last week, now obviously they didn't cover, but right. I mean, I forget what the line was on that game, but how do you win a game when your quarterback throws 5 interceptions? That's just incredible. I still don't know how that happened.
Are you a fan of the movie Meet the Parents?
Love Meet the Parents, man.
It sounds like Bill Simmons a big fan of it, huh?
Yeah, he's a huge fan of Meet the Parents. He says it's aged really well. I agree. Do you not agree with that?
All right. I mean, I like the movie. All right. Robert De Niro is good. But, what's his fascination? Is it like Joe Mazzulla's fascination with the town?
Yeah, it could be. You're right. It's not like in the Anchorman. I mean, I'm trying to think. Well, probably it's Wedding Crashers to me is my favorite comedy.
Mine's
I don't know
probably old school. Old school.
Old School, yeah, that's a good one. Old School is awesome. I just love Wedding Crashers when they have the football scene and Bradley Cooper's just knocking people out, and then I love the scene where they go to see Will Ferrell, and Will Ferrell remember the hype to that movie, because this is when I was in high school and these movies are coming out, they never really told us that Will Ferrell was in that movie, and then all of a sudden you see the shadow, and you're thinking when you're watching the movie in the movie theater, is that actually Will Ferrell? Yes, that's Will Ferrell. I love that movie so much.
What was his? I forget his name now in the movie.
Chaz Reinhold.
Ma, the meatloaf!
Yeah, I crashed a funeral yesterday.
I just read. I read that article. Bill Simmons and Kyle Brandt, and they watched Meet the Parents.
Yeah, they love Meet the Parents. I do love when he knocks out the. What is it? His sister-in-law, with the volleyball.
Yeah,
remember that scene when they're in the pool and he's got the Speedo on.
We all love a man in a Speedo. All right, Brian. Well, we're up against it, man. Go enjoy the fight tonight. I took a draw. If anybody cares, I think it's a big money grab, and nobody wins, and they all get paid, and we're all pissed.
What are the odds on that, Joe?
Plus 400.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. I like that.
Yep, because I don't think anyone's going down.
Yeah, I got a 6-legger NBA one for the NBA Cup, so hopefully that hits, but I got to put something else in.
The NBA Cup. It's a story for another day. But you know what? According to your boy, Bill Simmons, it sounds like Vegas is people really want to go to Vegas, and it sounds like it could be the next destination for a pro franchise there.
Yeah, with John Henry owning the team, him and LeBron.
Oh, man. Out. We're going to do in or out, but I'm out on that one. But Brian, appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time. We'll catch up soon. Enjoy your weekend here.
You too, Joe.
You got it. He's Brian Barrett. Everybody check him out over at The Ringer. Does an excellent job. We went late. I'm Joe. Let's hit the headline.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots Rams this week.
No, without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
Going back and forth.
But like Blake Griffin jumping over a car, I never cared about.
Dwight Howard with the cape.
Never. Gerald Green's blowing out the candle, though. Was that him?
I believe that. I think that was Gerald Green.
Yeah, I actually liked that one. I always liked Jordan Richardson.
Remember Birdman?
He
could not dunk in the dunk contest.
And then who's the other? Brent Barry had the from the foul line. It doesn't matter anymore. It's not the game. The game, not practice. The game. I'm in on them working on something new. I'm out on this format.
All right, Joe, it was announced today that Conan O'Brien will host the 97th Oscars. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Conan hosting the Oscars?
In. What does Conan do bad?
I'm 100% with you there. Big Conan guy.
Simpsons, his own show.
SNL.
He left TBS and did it, he's doing all right, right?
He is the one late night talk show host that I think he's the best of, what we've had in the last 20 years. Not that the bar was particularly high, but I think Conan was, above the bar.
When I worked at 1510, we had Conan in studio once. He was 6'7" or something. He was
tall guy.
He was way taller than me. That was the only thing I could look at. I go, how tall are you? And I wondered if his hair was real.
Oh, yeah, I think that's real.
It's from Brookline.
Local guy. Good guy.
Yeah. Local guy, good guy.
All right, Joe, sticking with the world of TV and movies, it was announced that we will be getting a Friday Night Lights reboot.
Out.
The new series will be set in the same universe as the original, but with a new cast of characters. Joe Murray, in or out?
Out. I don't care about it anymore. I already know the story. I don't need the kid who tore his ACL, who tried to play, who could still play but couldn't cut. I'm out. No, come up with something else.
I'm with you.
Make up a story.
Is Bill Belichick going to get credit for the reboot as well? Because now we've given him credit for Friday Night Lights happening.
That's right, yeah. Out! It's a strong one right there.
All right, Joe. Hasbro has announced they will be releasing a limited edition LeBron James Monopoly. So the Monopoly pieces will be a crown, a shoe, a championship ring, his jersey, a basketball. Joe Murray, are you in or out on a LeBron James themed Monopoly?
If they made Elvis Monopoly, I'd buy it.
Would he get a toilet for one of the pieces?
Elvis?
Yeah.
Maybe I'd get a microphone. Maybe a jailhouse rock thing. Or a guitar. I'm out on this. But Hasbro does everything pretty well because I have all the... Joey Hasbro, if you want to follow me on Instagram. I don't even know. Actually, it's Twitter. Sorry. I don't even know what the hell I have anymore. Oh, I got something later on that one, by the way. Out! I don't need more LeBron stuff. Why? What do you own that's LeBron's? I have rookie cards. What do you have?
I might have a rookie card as well, but
what else do you have of LeBron?
Yeah, Street Team Joe says he's got a fat head.
You have
a LeBron fat head.
What? I would throw darts at that thing.
I didn't even know they still made fat heads.
I loved fat heads, by the way. Oh, Tom Brady fat head, that'd go up. You know what's cardboard cutout in? Now, Macaulay Culkin had a Michael Jordan cardboard cutout.
Very useful.
And he was rocking around the Christmas tree, remember? Remember they called it the big... No, what do they call it? The house. Tuna. Big tuna? No. Silver tuna. They called the house the Silver Tuna. That was going to be the big one. Crowbar is up, remember? And then they thought everybody was gone. But then he had the party with the... And then he had the train. And the Michael Jordan was on the train, remember? They're gone. I got to protect this house. What about a new Home Alone where he...
Out.
No? But what if it's Macaulay Culkin defending his, I don't know.
everyone in like his neighborhood leaves except for his family, and the burglars show up trying to ransack the whole neighborhood, and he has to like.
And then the bird lady saves him.
There you go.
Well, what's the guy's name?
Old Man Marley.
Old Man Marley's kid that he didn't talk to. He goes, so many years ago, man, I really hated my dad, but it was you. And then he finds a turtle dove on the ground. And then Buzz's girlfriend shows up.
Woof.
Remember don't say it on the air, but remember my idea yesterday?
I remember, Joe.
Nobody knows. And I'm going to keep it that way for a little while. I'll tell Street Team Joe, though. All right, what else we got next? Wait, what was the in or out on LeBron? Out!
All right, Joe, we'll head to the world of food, as we often do. Crumble Cookies will be getting a rebrand this Thanksgiving season. They will be
cookies?
Crumble Pies for the week of November 25th to November 30th. You can get 6 different pie options in both regular and mini sizes. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Crumble Pies for Thanksgiving?
Oh, my God, they're going to make a killing.
Would you like to know the 6 pies you can get?
Please.
Pecan pie, pecan, if you will, French silk pie, cookies and cream pie.
What's French silk?
I don't know. It looks pretty good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Pumpkin pie, apple pie, and key lime pie.
A crumble key lime pie? Dude, I remember I brought crumble here. Oh. You should have just saw my facial expression on the YouTube, by the way. Oh, crumble. Oh. Dude, crumble is like bad news. No, they're Dave's Hot Chicken and Crumble are right next to each other in Woburn. That's just like crack. Forget drugs. Dave's Hot Chicken and Crumble? Death.
In.
So wait, I'm in on this, but like Crumble is a special order. Like you put the order in and then it's like it takes a little while and then they gotta specially package it and everything. So is it gonna taste like a pie or is it gonna be a cookie pie?
Guess you're gonna have to find out, Joe. Might have to get one in here.
Speaking of pies, Big Jim Murray shared the Hostess pie.
Oh, I saw this.
So I had a friend at a Rosendale Food Mart in Rosendale.
Young Joe Murray getting some pull even back then.
Back then, yep. I used to go to Rozzy Food Mart. I don't know if it's still called that anymore. Across from Brantley's. I don't even know if Brantley's is open anymore. Any Rozzy people, let me know. But my buddy Tiny loved the cherry fruit pie. But he ended up getting me into the cherry fruit pie as well. Well, come to find out, we were eating so many cherry fruit pies, they ran out of them. So I became friendly with the guy behind the counter who played music, and we played music. And so we had an agreement that when the Hostess cherry fruit pie comes in, can you tuck a box aside? And this man, I've been negotiating deals for years, guys. We negotiated a fruit cherry pie. We got a whole box. This guy hand delivered us like every other month. We'd have cherry pies because people would eat them.
Would you like to know what a French silk pie is?
Yes, please.
At its core, French silk pie is just a chocolate mousse. It is just a chocolate mousse pie consisting of eggs, cream, chocolate, sugar, and butter. Sounds pretty good to me.
I can feel the sugar in my body already.
Might be the Celsius, but yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. This is the Astro Vibe. By the way, Jake Paul sponsored by Celsius. I have had more Celsius than Jake Paul. I bet on it.
He's probably filling them up with water.
Listen, Celsius. I heard an ad on a sneaker ad on this station, but damn it, I love you guys, and I want Celsius. Someone asked me, is Tiny going to be at the card show tomorrow? He's not. No, my buddy Tiny was. People think big guys are called it. No, he was. He played music with Doug Kyde. And they're all like emo pop punk. Oh, should I drop the emo pop punk voice? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. All right, what else we got? Sorry.
All right, Joe, we have to get to this one. A New York City restaurant is shocking some visitors to the city. But a New York City is offering a special Ecuadorian delicacy, guinea pigs. Joe Murray, the restaurant La Casa de Coy, literally meaning the house of the guinea pig, is offering the culinary go-to in Corona, Queens, that grills and serves the rodents whole. They say the head is the most delicious part. Joe Murray, are you in or out on eating guinea pigs?
Ow! I've heard this before, so it's funny you're bringing this up. I've read this story. You're not wrong. It's like a new fad.
It's like a delicacy, I guess, in Ecuador, Peru. That's what the article says.
I can't do it. I don't want to see the head of whatever I'm eating. You know what's funny? I learned that I like duck.
Yeah, duck is fantastic.
And you ever see... I've
seen Donald. I've seen Daffy.
Have you ever seen A Christmas Story, though?
It's been a while, but yeah.
When the dogs came in and ate the turkey and he was pissed and then they went out and then whatever. And then the duck comes out and everyone's happy and he goes, and they're all scared. And he's like, it's smiling at us. And then the guy just chops the head off.
I try it.
I don't want anything with a head.
I'll try it. Why not?
No, but like I just don't want to. You would try it. You'd eat a guinea pig.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? If they say it's good, I'll give it a shot.
I can't eat. No, can't do it. Would I rather eat salad or a guinea pig?
There's some meat there, Joe.
Guinea pig.
Give them the pig. All right, Joe, we will wrap up a Friday night edition of In or Out with this. CBS, has greenlit a new singing competition for the fall of 2025. Singers will join a headlining superstar on tour as they perform as different opening acts in venues across America. They will compete to win over local fan bases to earn a spot in the next city and remain on the tour. Joe Murray, are you in or out on the opening act reality singing show?
Why do we have to keep doing reality singing shows?
I think this has potential for like very viral clips, though. If you like aren't good and you basically no, you're not on tour with us anymore. You got to stay in Jacksonville or somewhere like that. You can't come to the next city.
Oh, okay, that's fun. Oh, like you could be like left. Oh, like you came to Nashville.
Got to find your way home.
The best rapper in the world got left in Nashville. Man, I was rapping, bro. I thought this whole thing was where I like that song. What's the song that goes? It's been telling me all night long, gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on. 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? It goes the 2 to the 3 to whoa. That's a country song, right? Yeah. Anything else? Is that it? All right, well, we went late because it's a full moon. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Joe Murray Show on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBCFM 81 bus from the Town Fair Tire Studio, the home of the Bruins, Patriots, Revs, and Celtics.
Come on, Max, step back three is good.
Boston's home for sports is 98.5.
Jake Paul tonight. It all starts at 11 o'clock. Headlines, they are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Boston Celtics. Mention 98.5 The Sports and we get 10% off your new roof. Visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm Joe Murray. All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Up. Okay, we went off the rails a little bit. We're back on track, everybody. We're back. We're back, I think. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. We'll welcome in. His name is Mike Kadlick, now of Sports Illustrated, joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks for the quick plug. Yeah, on top of some Patriots coverage over at CLNS, doing some more sports over at SI. So, yeah, excited about it and appreciate the shout-out.
All right, what's the Pizza Friday looking like tonight?
So we got no free ads, but we got Conrad's in Norwood Center.
I love their steak tips, by the way.
Great steak tips and underrated pizza. Every time I tell people that I got pizza at Conrad's, they always mention the steak tips. They're phenomenal. Pizza's pretty good, too, so we got a couple of those. Classic pepperoni, but that's also where I get the chicken Caesar salad pizza. I know you're a big fan of that one.
Out.
Big time out.
So is this like a Friday thing for you, like a Friday night pizza?
Yeah, that's why it's called Pizza Friday, Joe. Every Friday, you got to get some pizza.
Have you ever been to Needham House of Pizza?
I haven't.
So I heard they make a mean Detroit style.
Okay. I'll have to try it.
I loved it. I would take Detroit style over any other pizza these days.
Well, right now, like last weekend, I went over to Town Spa in Stoughton, the classic bar pizza, and that's like just classic, easy, crispy. And actually, down in Foxborough today, over at Patriots practice, was talking with the Herald's Doug Kide, and he mentioned there's a new place out in Foxborough with some good bar pizza called Lacey's. I haven't tried it. Apparently, it's only takeout right now, but I think that's one of the next ones on my list.
I had Town Spa over the summer, dude. I got a Roni, linguiça, meatball, and I don't know, but we were talking pizza earlier.
Yeah, it just hits. The Town Spa hits different.
And we'll get to the football. But in your opinion, who has the best chicken parm sub?
Oh boy, a chicken parm sub. I mean, Tony's in West Roxbury has a really good chicken parm. I don't know if I've had it in sub form, but I mean, they also. Oh yeah, you know what? I have had their chicken parm sub because a couple years ago during COVID, when I was still living at my parents' house over in Dedham, they had like a deal on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and they were like $5 chicken parm subs at Tony's, and we would get a bunch of them for dinner because it was such a cheap deal, and they were phenomenal. So I'm gonna have to go with Tony's.
Try Pleasant Cafes.
Okay. Pleasant's a great pizza, too. But they got a good parm sub.
A toasted bread sandwich.
That'll do it. Yep.
And they put the sauce on top of the bread.
Oh, okay.
And so you kind of like eat it like a fork and knife.
Yep. That sounds good. I got to go for it. Again, though, that's a place that's kind of like the opposite of Conrad's, where people usually go to Conrad's for the tips, so they don't get the pizza. If I'm going to Pleasant, I'm going for the pizza, so I feel like I'm never going to end up going there for a sub.
Yeah, but you should just do me. Just take my word for it.
I'll trust you. Hey, I'll trust you on it.
Take my word for that.
Love it.
What's going on? What have you found out? I know you're over there at camp and you're over there at practice this week. Is people in good spirits? Are they feeling good about the Rams game this week?
I think so, Joe. I do think the team is in much better spirits. Heading into this week, just off of a win. I think a win can do a huge thing for this team. A lot of stories, a lot of written pieces, questions about Alex Van Pelt and the turnaround, if you will, that he's had at this Patriot at the helm of the offense. Now, I'm not going to sit here and anoint him the next Sean McVay, obviously, and I don't think anybody really is, but there's been a lot of talk about the offense. I just think the quarterback with May and how he's played and how the offense has seemed to turn a corner a little bit and allow the team to, win a game like they did last week has been huge. And obviously the defense was good, only allowing 3 points to Chicago. But the vibe just in the locker room in general, I was talking to one player today. They feel like they can really rattle off a couple of wins here and turn this thing around. There is a newfound, it's like when you're in a slump shooting basketballs, right? And when you finally see one go through the hoop, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can actually do this. Or, a slugger hitting a home run, right? It's kind of like that where once one win comes and you figure out how to win, things are going to change. And I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to rattle off a winning streak and go to the playoffs either. But I feel like they found a little bit of an identity for themselves, and there's definitely an added motivation and an added, I guess, good spirit in the locker room.
Christian Barmore is back, Mr. Funny.
Funny Friday.
Yeah, what do you think of this? I mean, I care about people's health, so I kind of thought he was done for the year, but looks like he's ramping up.
Yeah, I'm with you as far as, put the health first and don't try and rush the guy back. And look, I think this is a football staff, of medical staff in the NFL that, with the way that, health and safety in the league is always under fire with concussions and Thursday night football and quick turnarounds and things like that. Like, that's from a league-wide level, but I think individual players or the individual teams are really going to put the players' health first. And so a team that's sitting at 3-7 with not a ton to play for as far as on the bubble, trying to win a division record-wise, I don't think they would rush a guy like Barmore back knowing that he could hinder himself even further. So, again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not in the inside knowledge of this necessarily where Barmore's at, but I do think that they wouldn't rush him back if they didn't think he was good enough to play. So he is on a ramp up stage right now, and that's kind of why he only practiced once this week. At this point, he's listed as questionable. I don't know if I would rush him out there, but again, I don't know exactly where he is health-wise, conditioning-wise, in order to do so. So, long story short, I think it's kind of a coach-speak answer, but I'll trust the Patriots and their medical staff for now, and I think if they put him out there, I think he'll be ready to go out there. And what a huge boost that would be to a Patriots defensive line that could be without Dietrich Weiss this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that last week, and I'll be honest, I took the Bears. I thought that the blueprint to beat the Patriots is to hand the ball off to the running back and do it over and over until they stop you. I mean, it is. It's what happens. So I think Kyron Williams, if you look up the numbers, when he scores one touchdown, they're almost undefeated. When he scores two touchdowns, they haven't lost a game. So I think they go back to that. They went away from it against Miami this week. It is a short week. It is West Coast to East Coast. The Patriots still don't play well at home despite winning recently. I think Kyron Williams is going to be the answer this week. And you know what? I actually like Blake Corum as well. I think they are going to run the football this week. So if Wise isn't in, who is in?
I think they should. I think that should, like you mentioned, be their recipe. And going back to Chicago last week, if they had an actual, competent offensive coordinator and offensive play calling staff last week, they probably would have done the same with, a guy like DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, who is, a real power back against this Patriots front that, you're right, Joe, has struggled with the run at times this season. So a banged-up Barmore, Dietrich Wise, Jaquelin Roy, who has turned into actually a decent player in the middle of the front. Can you believe it? Those guys being injured, banged up, potentially not playing, Barmore comes back on a limited snap basis. You should be able to run the football on this team. And, yeah, the Rams have had some issues up front themselves. Their offensive line has been in and out, injured-wise, IR, similar, if not worse, than the Patriots have, where the Patriots have actually sort of settled down on something here, along the offensive line. So I'm with you. Now, Matthew Stafford, you can't discount what he can do and obviously what he can do with Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and those guys. But if they can establish a run, which I think they can, and then add that passing game on top of it, it could get pretty ugly for the Patriots. So, we'll see what happens. But I think you're right, Joe. I think that's the recipe for them to beat them.
All right. Mike Kadlick joining us here on the Sports Hub, now of Sports Illustrated. You're writing about Bill Belichick being a media mogul?
He was talking on his coach podcast with Matty P, his good confidant Matt Patricia, and so the title, the work SI over there is it's breaking and trending news that I'm staying on top of, and so I'm checking on that, seeing if I can find a nice little headline there, and apparently they're talking about rivalries in the NFL this weekend, and he had a nice little quote saying that the Steelers and the Ravens. They hate each other so much, and he was like, they're not sending Christmas cards to each other. So, that was the angle there. But yeah, I mean, I know now. Where are you on this Belichick thing, actually, Joe? I'm curious to kind of flip it back to you because I know Freddie T in the morning. I was listening to him a little bit today. So he does not like the idea of Bill being this media guy. Says that he's kind of a fraud and what have you. What's been your take on his stance and everything he's doing so far?
I think he needs to rehabilitate who he is. He's known as somewhat of a hard ass or maybe a cheap guy, and I feel like everything he's done off season shows in a different light what he was portrayed to be or what the narrative was off that documentary. So I think he needs to do this stuff. Now the whole young girlfriend thing, I got nothing for that. I mean, is Bill living?
I'm with you.
I mean,
leave that be.
my whole thing is like good. I mean, if the guy can do whatever he wants to do, it's just I can't relate to that, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
So like that's why I'm kind of out on the whole girlfriend thing. But do I think like he can still break down things? And the only thing I kind of wish he did, and I don't know why people keep asking about this. So this is me reaching, but can you give a little bit more on the Patriots? Just a little bit more.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you there on the Patriots thing. And there's been, too many. It's almost too obvious at this point, right? Where there's been so many times that when they lose, he drills and digs into them and will break it down a little bit more. And then when they win, it's either they completely ignore it for the entire week on the 15 shows that he's on across the board, or like last week where the Patriots win in convincing fashion, and he says, well, no, that just says more about the Bears than it does the Patriots, and kind of brushes it off for nothing. Where sometimes, Joe, it's like he mentions the Patriots as if he wasn't a part of the Patriots. Like he is trying to distance himself from the franchise a bit. Like even, today I mentioned that I was listening to the Coach podcast, and he's talking about these rivalries, and he says, the Steelers and the Ravens are a big one. And he's talking about the Chiefs and the Bills, and he compares Chiefs-Bills to the Patriots and Colts of the past and the Patriots and Steelers of the past. And he kind of because he was like, these teams are, the Chiefs and the Bills are playing each other twice a year at this point, kind of like the Patriots used to do with the Steelers and the Patriots used to do with the Colts. And it's almost like he's saying it as if the Patriots are a different entity of himself. And it's like, dude, you did this, you built it. Have a little bit more, I don't even know what the word is, but associate yourself a little bit more with the team because you were great here for so long. And yeah, I get that there's pettiness and anger towards it, but some of it's strange to me, and it feels very fake.
So are you doing articles now on things outside of football too?
Oh yeah, everything, baby. We're hitting on everything over at SI.
So you think Jamie Ben's hit on Carlo was cheap?
Yeah, that was BS. Did you not? Were you in for the game last night?
I was here last night watching it.
Yeah, that was a crock. What are we doing? First of all, and I guess you don't really know this on the ice, but a guy in Brendan Carlo, 6 concussions in his career, gets close to the boards, and he gets jabbed in the back by Ben. He was clearly too close to the boards. And then they go from a major 5 minutes to they go back to a minor. It's like, I don't know. I don't like it. I thought it was an obnoxious hit, and it shouldn't have happened, and I was surprised that they turned it over.
What do you think about Thomas Castellanos leaving the program? I mean, wow, a little bit of discipline.
Yeah.
A little bit of discipline. Right? And the only reason why I thought they went to the backup last week because it was so windy, they needed a quarterback that had a little bit of arm power, And I don't know. I think it's more on him, but you know me, I've always thought Bill O'Brien was suspect. How do they let this guy move? And it kind of sucks because I think we're at a point in college sports now where it's, if you're I don't know, discipline or any real, I don't know, like punishment or anything like that, they can just walk and go somewhere. Any discipline at all, they can take their ball and go home.
It's crazy, Joe, and I think I honestly, I know you mentioned you don't know about Bill O'Brien. I think this says a lot more about Castellanos than it does Bill O'Brien.
Agree on that.
Like the fact that he gets benched or injured, whatever it was last Saturday, and Grayson James comes in and plays pretty well. And I've been told from people and guys that are around the BC program since the summer that Grayson James has been a better player than Thomas Castellanos all season long, and all summer long James played better. But you wonder with this NIL stuff and the deals that Castellanos had to come back and play that maybe O'Brien and the program felt that they needed to give him the right opportunity to go out there and play. And then when opportunity knocks for James to go out there, he plays well last week and wins. O'Brien says, you know what, that's it. I'm going with the guy who's better. And then Castellanos gets pissed and he leaves the program. And again, that's what college sports is nowadays. And for better or for worse, that's what we're going to have to deal with. But I don't like it. And I think it gives these guys a lot more of a sense of entitlement and things like that for, when they get to the pros, where Tom Brady, and it's so cliche, but when Brady was at Michigan and built himself up from the 7th guy on the depth chart all the way to number 1, nowadays, a guy, I don't think somebody like Brady's mentality, but they might not have that anymore. And you go into a place and you're 7th and you say, well, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to transfer somewhere else where I can play. And so, yeah, I don't like it, but hey, good luck to Thomas Castellanos. And I like what O'Brien's doing at BC. I don't know how well his attitude and culture will continue to translate at the college level, but I do think he's a pretty good coach, and hopefully they continue to do well. But yeah, the Castellanos thing, that was kind of obnoxious on his part.
I got a article idea for you, because we write articles now. Skaz and I,
Oh yeah, Skaz's the big podcaster now too. Him and Jimmy Stu,
the Green Teamers. That's right.
Oh yeah, love it.
But maybe you can project where who the next coaches will be next year.
I like that.
Like, think about it. Right now, if you had to project Bill Belichick, where is it?
I think right now it's got to be Dallas.
Okay.
I mean,
what about
was
Ben Johnson.
Chicago would be my guess off the top.
Okay. Jacksonville.
Oh boy.
Vegas. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's fun. It gets creative, and it's a good way to get some written content out
Let me
there.
give you one more. Rex Ryan has brought up the fact that former players from teams are now taking over, right? Dan Campbell played for the Lions. D'Amico Ryans played for the Texans. Deion Sanders is going to be a big name, right? Would he go back to Dallas or, draft Shador? I don't know. I heard another name today. And Jerry Jones is the one who brought it up. Jason Witten.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Why is Jerry
he in
Jones
coaching at all?
No, but why is Jerry Jones touting that?
That's an interesting one. Where did he say? Jerry talks out of his rear end all the time.
He said it on the Athletic. I'm from the Athletic.
Okay, not that I don't believe you. I'm just curious on how he said it.
And obviously his connections to the Cowboys, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? Jim Irsay did it a couple years ago with Jeff Saturday. He gave him a chance to run the Colts. Maybe Jerry gets an idea from, like you said, Gerard Mayo, D'Amico Ryans, Dan Campbell. Did Antonio Pierce ever play for the Raiders?
Yes.
He's a former player.
Yes. Well, Arizona State, because that's where he came from, Arizona State.
Right.
The other one was, where do you think Mike Vrabel ends up? I think the Jets.
The Jets? Did you say the Jets?
I just said the Jets, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for him.
Didn't play there, though.
Did not play there, but a guy who I feel like he's a guy who can basically tell the media to F off, for better, lack of a better word, and can just kind of go and the Aaron Rodgers stuff and the owner and all that. Like, if you bring in Mike Vrabel, you kind of know that, okay, we're turning it over, we're giving the team to him, and then you kind of step back, and he's not going to take any crap. So I like Vrabel there. I think that would be a good fit, and hopefully, the Jets are, everyone makes fun of it and says all they are is the Jets, and I get it, but they have some decent talent on that roster. They just have been put in a bad spot way too many times, coaching, quarterback, owner. So, yeah, I could see Vrabel there for sure.
All right, man, you want to come hang out with us some Friday night?
Let's do it. I'm in.
All right, who's bringing the pizza?
Let's do a Pizza Friday on the Joe Show. We'll do a full hour. How's that sound?
All right, fine.
Let's get it together. I'm in.
All right. Well, I know some pizza hookups. How about that?
That's perfect. Hey, if I don't have to pay for it, we get a whole sponsor thing going. We'll do the whole thing.
All right. Well, I already know a guy.
Love it.
What do you think about Tyson Paul tonight? And by the way, I'm watching some of the Skaz. Did you just see what they threw it in Slack? So, dude, the undercard right now, there's some weird stuff going on in this, man. This thing's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Jake Paul ends up pulling it out. I mean, Tyson's 58. He can barely talk. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, look, he slapped him. He's got the adrenaline rush. He's been training. But at the end of the day, Jake Paul's like 40 years younger than this guy, whatever it is. Like, there's just a quicker ability to get, punches and jabs in there. And I think he takes him out before the thing even ends.
All right, I bet the draw because I think it's a cash.
Okay.
Plus 800.
That's not bad.
Is it plus 800 right now? Yeah, look that up. No, well. All right, man. Well,
I like it.
Your cousin and all my friends are at Hooters.
No way, really?
That's what I was told.
And you can't be there because you got to work on a Friday night, huh?
You know how many people have asked me what I'm doing for the fight?
Working, baby.
I know. What are you doing for the fight, Aaron? What are you doing for the fight? What are you doing for the fight, Joe? Hey, Skaz, you want to tell Mike Kadlick where I met you for the first time?
That would be at a Hooters, Joe.
No way.
The one in
Which one?
Dedham?
The Dedham? Oh, I love it.
You know what's funny? The funniest thing is when people say, yeah, Joe, you just found Skaz at a Hooters and now he's your producer. Like, they think that's like how like it all happened. Like, I met a guy at a Hooters and then said, hey, come be my producer.
Yeah, not like there was a connection beforehand and that he had worked at the yeah, no. You just found him there and said, hey, will you put the board together for me?
Yeah, something like that. No. All right, dude. Well, good talking to you. Enjoy your pizza.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Appreciate it.
Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'll pick a day. We'll have Pizza Friday with Mike Kadlick.
I'm in. I love it. Let's do it.
Maybe you can do in or out with us.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it. I'm in.
Maybe we'll do like 7:50 in or out, and then we'll have Mike hang out for the 8 o'clock hour. All right. I'll shoot you some
Set it up.
dates. Maybe 2025.
Perfect.
All right. He's Mike Kadlick, everybody. We'll talk to you soon, Mike.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. See you, Scott. See you, Joe.
Bye. Can you do the dance? We got to go to headlines. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots have no one on the injury report. They take on the Rams. The Celtics are in action tomorrow against Toronto, and the Bruins will take on the Blues. And there's a fight tonight. Tyson, Jake Paul. I'm Joe Murray, and this headline has been brought to you by our good friends over at Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose
All right, we got 4 minutes. Yeah, it's 4 minutes. Then we'll get the headline, and then we'll do musings. I know, it's been a wild night tonight, but you guys have been waiting on hold. So let's start with Tommy and Lynn. Tommy!
What's up, Joe?
What's
Joe,
up?
I gotta ask you. What's up, Joe?
Yo.
The Patriots, I think they're gonna win this game.
No, they're not.
Wait, Joe, what's your games that you like this weekend? I'm gonna go over some games that I like.
All right, what do you got?
And the first game, Kansas City at Buffalo, because that's the important one. I like Buffalo because Buffalo's gonna beat them in the way Kansas City played last week. They had no desire to win in that game, and I think Buffalo's going to destroy them. The other game that I like, Jacksonville at Detroit, because Detroit's on a red hot right now. And the other game that's a good one, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I kind of am leaning on the Pittsburgh side. What do you think, Joe?
Who's got the best chicken parm in the area?
Who got the best chicken parm?
Yeah.
You got to say, Panino's on Walnut Street next to Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, is it good there?
Yeah, and also, let's go Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's going to beat up on Jake Paul. He's going to destroy him. It's not even going to be funny, Joe, with that one.
All right, Tommy. Good talking to you, buddy.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry on Chicken Parm subs in West Roxbury. Hey, Harry.
Hey, how you doing, Joe? I'm just going to be very clear here with everyone. The best chicken parm in the city in a 30-mile radius is the Porter Cafe in West Roxbury. You have to go there. You have to experience it. I don't have any involvement other than I'm a local. I've ate everywhere.
Yeah, but nobody
Porter
calls
Cafe,
it the
West
Porter
Roxbury.
anymore.
You want the best chicken parm? That's it.
That's the old next to Superflash, right?
It's across from the barracks.
Yeah, the West.
Yeah, West Lawn Center. Yep.
Yeah, I grew up out there, right?
I did not.
Yeah, I grew up in Hyde Park.
Oh,
so
God bless you, brother.
The West used to be
Delfino's if you want. If you want the best chicken
Delfino's
parm.
is the best chicken parm in the area, and then it's what's it called there? The other place that's really good there. The what's it called? Oh, right behind.
I know what you're talking about because it's sort of forgettable, but that's what they all say.
No.
You know?
Delfino's is the best in the area. There's no doubt.
No, you have to have Porter Cafe chicken parm. You have to do it.
I don't know, man.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's what I say.
Now I have to go to Porter's.
You have to go to Porter Cafe in West Roxbury. You have to.
I heard they had good tacos.
Oh, dude, $2 tacos.
Yes.
$1 oysters. It's the spot, man.
All right, thank you. Ashley's in Abington. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Joe. Big fan.
Thank you.
So I just had a quick question. So my favorite Chinese food spot closed near me, and I just wondered if you had any recommendations for me. And also,
where in the Abington
in the
area?
South Shore. Yeah, like anywhere South Shore area.
Well, it's not Tahiti. If you've ever been there, it's not them. What closed?
Chang's in Brockton.
Oh, that was your favorite?
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to go to North Shore.
Specifically for the Rangoons, but yeah.
And then you won't go North Shore, will you?
No.
No. Oh, man, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'll take any recommendation.
What about
and also,
Fusion?
I had another question.
What about Fusion Kitchen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fusion Kitchen. They're in Quincy. Or Quan's. You've had Quan's?
Quan's? Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you.
You have another one, too, for me?
Yes, I do. I actually wanted to know what your bet picks were for this weekend.
Okay, you're going to Joe me the money. Comes up in less than an hour. I'll have all my picks right there. You got something? Did you have recommendations, guys? I didn't mean to not include you.
No, you're good, Joe. I was just going to say it's Thai food, but Sugarcane in Bridgewater is very good, and the Chatterbox in Bridgewater also very good.
Bridgewater's packing some heat?
Sugarcane, yeah, both elite. But
There's a Sugarcane in Peabody.
I wonder if
Really good General Gao chicken. Good, like, flavoring. And they use red hot peppers. Where's Street Team Joe from?
I think he lives in Westboro. Not sure where he's from.
Oh, I knew that. They have that all-you-can-eat buffet at that across from the Natick Mall. There's an all-you-can... Oh.
That's Johnny Wallach's neighborhood.
Know what I did there? I took some food to go from a buffet. Does that make me bad?
That's a no-no, Joe.
I couldn't leave it. But I got to throw it away. We have to go to a break. Murray's Musings. We've been doing musings all night. We'll do it again here on 98.5 The Sport.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off an extra drive-through oil change at Valvoline. It's an oil change now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick.
Need new kitchen cabinets or shower remodel?
The home of the pass. 98.5. Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots, they take on the Rams this Sunday. Nobody on the injury report for the New England, but the Rams maybe without two starting offensive linemen. All the coverage here on Sunday begins at 10 a.m. Celtics back in action tomorrow. They take on Toronto. While the Bruins, they'll have another rematch with the St. Louis Blues this week. And tonight, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, the fight. It's all going to begin sometime after 11 o'clock. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray, your next update in 30 minutes.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
Half out over November. I am wrestling a bag of M&Ms right now. These were brought in by Street Team Joe. So if you want to get over with the night show, you got to bring food or candy or something. So, should we do the live taste test of the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms? Or should we do the story that I have for musings tonight first?
Oh, man. Now that I'm...
Do you think we should eat first?
I was going to say, now that I'm aware of what the story is, I almost think the M&Ms have to go first.
Okay, peanut butter and jelly M&Ms, in or out? Don't knock it till you try it, right? I'm going to put a couple in at once. So what do you think of that? All righty, here we go. 150 calories per serving. Oh, I've already had over this. Oh, boy. You know what? It kind of tastes like when ice cream's trying to it's trying to give you a taste. I like them. I just don't taste peanut butter and jelly. I taste like a red velvet cheesecake is what I taste without the cheese.
So would the verdict be in?
I'm in. But they're selling me something it's not. This is like a strawberry cream soda M&M more than it is a peanut butter and jelly. But no, I'm very thoughtful. It's very thoughtful of you to bring them, Street Team Joe. Oh, Street Team Joe, it's going to stick, huh? People in the chat are calling him Street Team Joe. So anyways, if you've had the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms, they're pretty good. They just don't think they taste like peanut butter and jelly. But more of a jam, I would say, than but Smucker's definitely. What's your favorite kind of jam? I like a Welch's. Do you know what else I do? Here's one for you. When you have jelly, right? Do you want it out of a packet? Do you want it out of the jar with a knife? Or do you want the squeeze bottle?
I was nervous you were going to explain to us the difference between jelly and jam for a second there, Joe. But I'm a jar guy. I like the glass jar.
You want the jar?
Yeah.
I'm like that with mayo.
Yeah, give me the jar.
Because they have the squeeze mayo now, too. In the packet mayo? Out on packet mayo.
No, out on that. Need the jar.
All right. To our story. Oh, look, I get the music. There you go, Ice Cube. It's back. Yay, yay. You ever hear they do this thing on the Sports Hub now where it's like, the Volkswagen dealers expert hotline.
Yay, yay.
And it's like, it's Ice Cube, and he goes, yeah, yeah. Is that what he says?
That's what he says.
Yeah.
And I remember before the call, you said to me, do you think we get a yeah, yeah from Ice Cube? And I was like, I hope so. And
he did it.
Let off the call with it.
And then, what's funny? I heard you can do it, put your ass into it the other night. And he starts off, he goes, yeah, yeah. You can do it, put your back and do it. I can do it, put your ass, do it. All right, well, you know me when it comes to dead bodies. I'm out. Street Team Joe hasn't heard. Maybe you can look up the old one where I freaked out. I don't know if you. There's a lot of sound I'm throwing at you real quick here, Skaz, because I know we're going home in 50 minutes, so I don't mean to put the extra workload on you. But Street Team Joe and our audience, I have a problem with people who are dead and the people who are the Undertakers are not confirming deaths. Here's the deal. When someone dies, embalm them. Take out all their guts. What are we doing on our license? Do you want to be an organ donor? Was the 76-year-old woman an organ donor or not? How the hell is a person put in a casket and still alive? It happened. They went to the funeral, or they went to the wake, and the person was still alive. There's a commercial I keep seeing about it, too. Well, I will say this. How long do you... okay, we've all seen Clerks, right? Dude was in the bathroom. She thought it was dude. It wasn't dude. That's something I couldn't live with. No, out. Hard out. But this one, Skaz, why don't we just stop and go this news report that happened?
Good morning, Matthew.
Yeah, good morning to you both. We know that this man was reported missing on Friday after coming here to the gym. However, he wasn't found until Monday morning inside of the tanning bed here. And keep in mind, this was all while the gym was open over the weekend.
Hold on. So a man went to a gym and went to the tanning bed at a gym. So they found a... Just keep playing it.
Mind, this was all while the gym was open over the weekend, and the biggest question this morning is, how did this go unnoticed? Now I want you to take a look at your screen. This is 39-year-old Derek Sink, who was found dead Monday morning here at the Planet Fitness. Family members tell us that Sink was a loving man but also struggled with drugs. They tell us that there was a needle also found in the room with him. Many people taking to social media overnight questioning how employees could let this happen. One man writing, quote, "I wondered what was going on because it smelled weird and they had a tanning bed blocked off today when I was there."
Time out. You're out, right? You're out. Skaz is done.
Yeah, Joe, sometimes you send me stuff and there's times I wish I never saw it, never heard it.
Don't you have to check in to go to a tanning bed?
Yeah, I feel absolutely awful for this gentleman, but that's on the employees. You know, you gotta.
They didn't check the night.
How do they? That just shows you how dirty these tanning beds are, though. Like they're not getting a wipe down at the end of the night. No one's even opening them. Never mind a wipe down. No one's even looking if anyone's in there.
Just keep going, I guess. Is there any more of this?
That is it, Joe. Thankfully.
All right. Someone went tanning and never came out and was there for 3 days, and it smelled funky, and they found needles. Did someone open the tanning bed and find this person? Who found him?
Yeah, feel awful for the individual that found them as well.
Like, is there just one car in the parking lot when everyone goes home? I know this is amusings, but like, this really happened at a gym that you guys could have probably went to.
I've been to Planet Fitness many times in my life.
Great sponsor of the station. I know that. It's not. Was there foul play? Probably. But why are we not checking up on people? Like this one? Yes. Prince Humperdinck, I have an excellent suggestion. Let's change the subject. But this could be a movie. Like, there's been Weekend at Bernie's, right? Weekend at the... Why am I always finding these stories? Why do they show up on my timeline? A man was found dead after being in a tanning bed 3 days after he entered. And the gym was open the entire time. How did that go unnoticed? I need answers. And for 3 days, his family didn't know he was missing or his coworkers. Leave that story. I've been sitting on that one for a week. A week I've been sitting on that story.
Almost as long as he was sitting on the tanning.
On that note, we're going to break. I'm Joe Murray here. He's Skaz. We're listening to 98.5 The Sports Zone.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. Joe Murray.
Back here, 98.5. I'm Joe Murray. Almost the weekend. What a night tonight. Full moon. Full moon. I've been up since 7 a.m. Actually, 6:30 a.m.
Had a lot of people in the chat say it's a beaver moon tonight. I'm not sure what that means, but apparently it is a beaver moon.
Could somebody...
A quick Google search.
Yes, please. This morning I was with our friends over at Card Vault. You guys know those guys. They have a spot right next to the Garden in Big Night Live, and they have a spot in Foxwoods and Patriot Place. And I was pulling cards today.
A very quick Google search, Joe. The beaver moon is one of nicknames for the November full moon. It is believed that beavers prepare for winter during this time of year, so it is called the beaver moon.
So when the beaver sees the big moon, they're like, dude, we got to go.
Build that dam.
Dude, we are out. Start building.
Get to work.
I will start building, bitch. That's what I was going to say. Oh, the beavers are working hard tonight, huh?
You ever seen a beaver?
I'm a city kid.
That's why I ask.
I don't know. I actually don't know. Let me look. You know what? I'm just going to look beaver. Tell me, you know about a beaver?
Well, one time, I always thought beavers small, pretty cute, pretty docile, nothing to worry about. One time I was camping. It was either New Hampshire or Maine, and I was swimming, and all of a sudden I just started hearing like this slapping noise on the water very loudly. Probably like 20 yards in front of me, just a beaver. You could just tell, a very, no pun intended, a very angry beaver slapping its tail on the water, basically saying like, get out of my area. And I got out of there. I didn't want to find out what was going to happen, but apparently beaver's very territorial.
Do you think bears eat beaver?
I don't think they pass up too many meals. I'd have to imagine it's happened from time to time.
Well, I mentioned I pulled a lot of cards this morning. I'll have a table tomorrow morning. If people want to come by, I'll be at the Crown Plaza right next to the scoreboard, if everyone knows where that is. Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill. And I'll be there from 8:30 to 1:30 tomorrow, so you can come by. I got cards, bro. I got Drake May, Peyton Pritchard's, tons of stuff. I met Pete at one of those shows. He's from Worcester. He does his own card show. Hi, Pete. How are you, bud?
Hey, Joe. How's it going, man? I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking.
How's life?
What's going on? It's going great. Good ride. Things are going great. How about you?
What do you think of my show?
I love it.
Did you hear my story?
I love it.
Did you hear the story about the person that was dead in the tanning bed?
Yeah, man. That's unacceptable, man. Two things. It's unacceptable. And, talking about eating beaver, who eats beaver over there? I'm just curious. I've been listening to you guys a lot of time. I ate some spinach pie tonight. My mom made some homemade phyllo dough. Real good stuff.
Spinach pie?
Oh, yeah. Spanakopita.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is Greek style, right?
Oh, yeah. She made the homemade phyllo dough, man. It's crazy. It doesn't last long.
Well, there's a lot of local card shows, Pete. I'll be doing the best flipping tomorrow. I know you got your own. Why don't you tell people about it and how it got started?
Awesome. It's paid forward card shows. It's in the Leominster Fitchburg Club, Elks Club, every third Sunday. We have our next one this Sunday. I just wanted to do my own mission and give back. I was in Columbus, Ohio, Dublin, Ohio for 17 years, did some work with some grassroots foundation, Pinstripe Sports Dreams Foundation. We had a few ex-Yankees that were on the advisory board, kind of under the radar screen, helping at-risk kids and kids who couldn't afford to play baseball. It's kind of a neat thing, but it wasn't my sandbox. Got involved in another, indirectly with a Columbus Ice Hockey Club, a pretty big program, and came back here, and the hockey program was too big. And a year ago today, a friend of mine, John Elsesser, the Scholastic Sports Home Foundation, the dad that lost the two kids, he had posted a post on Facebook. I'm here up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I looked at Facebook. I never do it that early. I saw him, and I got my answer. And I called him up, texted him 6:30, and told him I'd like to partner with him. And the $3 that people pay to get into the show, I donate to the Scholastic Sports Home Foundation. Backdrop on that is In 2010, maybe you heard it here. It's a big story. John's son, Michael, was playing football at Quabog, took a blow to the chest and died of a sudden cardiac arrest.
Oh, boy.
5 years later, son number 2, Tim, was swimming and boating on Lake Manchac. He died of a sudden cardiac arrest. The older brother went in to get him out, and he was gone. So LCSI are great people. That whole community is great. They rolled their sleeves up, and they, one cradle to grave, and they eventually got Michael's Law passed. It's a state law mandate in the state of Mass. All public school athletic programs have to have an AED in place, a plan in place, and be AED and CPS certified and trained. So, it was a great fit because I knew John. He came in. We had Pinstripes Pub in Park Ave. So,
and Pete, it's a real. I love what you're doing. But you guys have a card show. People can go to it, and it's this Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where is it again?
It's this Sunday. It's at the Leominster Fitchburg Elks Club. We're sold out. Elks Club on Leominster, Mass. on North Main Street. It's less than a mile off of Route 2. We have 60 tables. It's sold out. About 40 vendors. Pokemon, TCG, new stuff, vintage. Some of the best dealers in New England. I've been all over New England. I've gone to 50 shows this year. Met 1,000 of you guys. You've all been amazing and embracing. It's beyond what I could have expected. Help is on the way. We've talked to the Boys Club and Girls Club in Leominster. The stuff going down on here. It's all about the kids, Joe. So we're a little different.
Excellent job, Pete. Appreciate what you do. We're up against it. Excellent. Check them out. Pay It Forward Cards. Excellent guy. Go check him out. We'll take one more call, and then we get Joey the Money coming up. Nick's in Waltham. Hey, Nick.
Hey, it's Nicky Babs. How are you?
Hey.
I'm calling to ask about what's your opinion on the fight tonight?
I took the draw.
Draw? You think so?
Plus 800.
Wow. All right.
Do I know you?
I don't think so.
You're Nicky Bags?
Nicky Babs. B-A-B-S.
Babs?
Yep.
What's the Babs stand for?
Babigian.
Okay. Are you like known as Nicky Babs? Like if I was in Waltham, I could say, hey, do you know who Nicky Babs is?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I work in Waltham.
Oh, really?
That's where our radio station is.
Yeah, I've passed by it.
Yep. Carl's? You go like Carl's?
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot
my family is related to Maz.
Oh, Tony Maserati?
Yeah.
So that would be you're related to Maz?
Yeah, my aunt.
Your aunt is related to Maz. So what does that make you, a cousin?
Yeah, something like that.
What's the Waltham mascot?
A hawk.
Did you go to Waltham High?
Yep.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you. Let's get to the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots gearing up for the Rams this Sunday, and nobody's on the injury report, so that's good. But the Rams have plenty.
Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money. Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that? Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say it what you would mean it, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell at me.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money.
All right, let's get the bell ready, everybody. Weekend picks brought to you by nobody yet, but they are available.
Brought to you by Joe Murray.
All right, here we go. I got a couple for you in college football and in the NFL. Let's go to Clemson in Pittsburgh. Clemson lost last week. Now they go to Pitt, and they're 11-point favorites on the road. Give me the Pitt Panthers to cover the 11. Ring the bell. Quack. 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 Take the Ducks minus 13.5 against the Badgers. Bring it. We all watched Georgia get their asses kicked last week. But you know what they do this week? They get right back on track. They win by double digits, and they cover the minus 9.5. Bring it! A team that snuck out a victory last week. Might have gotten some help from the refs. They are the number 2 ranked team in the college bracket right now. And they are 2.5-point favorites this week in college football. And I know everyone's going to fade them, but not me. Because Kansas stinks on the road. Give me the BYU Cougars to win by a field goal. Ring it! I only got 2 games for you in the NFL because it's a little bit of an interesting week. But I really, really, really like Jameis Winston to beat his former team, the Saints. And it's -1. So all they got to do is win the game. Give me the Cleveland Browns to win. And finally, this one's a Sunday nighter. Cheddar. The Chargers can't score. They're 6-3. The Bengals can score. They're 4-6. They can't lose again. They're not going to lose this week. They have Pittsburgh next week. You win this week, you beat Pittsburgh next week, you beat Dallas, you beat Tennessee, you beat Cleveland, you beat Denver. It sets up a matchup with Pittsburgh at the end of the year. Who's going to the playoffs? I'm going Bengals, getting 1.5 on Sunday. Ring it. Joe me the money. That's all I got for you. Guys, did you write an article this week about matchups and all that stuff?
No article this week.
Care.
But
it's okay that you didn't. But do you have any matchups?
Yeah, Lamar in Pittsburgh, 1 o'clock. Obviously, the big one this weekend is Mahomes versus Josh Allen, 4 o'clock. And then you mentioned it, Burrow and Herbert, Sunday night. I think 3 very good games, 3 different time slots, so you can watch the entirety of all 3 of those games. That's what I'll be watching on Sunday.
Shout out from Boston Radio Watch. You see that?
I did not.
Boston Radio Watch pre-gaming with the best night show in the business. We also might be the only night show in the business. Actually, I don't even know who's elsewhere. I honestly don't even know. Does anybody else? I don't mean that to take a shot at anybody because I'm not the shot type. I'll just say it. All right, Scaz, we got some Mike Tyson people out there. But our buddy Sarko is calling a little bit earlier than normal. His name is Sarko. He's in Malden. Who do you like tonight, bro? You got Tyson or Paul?
Listen, I mean, it's kind of crazy because I want Tyson to do what he's always done. It's like that's what we all want to see. It's kind of hard to see it, but I don't know. That's what I'm rooting for. I mean, I have no money on it because I just say I'll stay. You know what I mean? I'm staying away.
I'm sorry, Sarko. You had a good phone the other night. What happened?
He was just bragging about his new phone.
If he calls back, just say we couldn't hear him. But call us on his good phone. We like Sarko.
Love him.
Hey, what happened to our boy Stretch?
Yeah, Celtics season is here. We'll be hearing from Stretch soon, I believe.
Should bat signal?
Yeah, I'd like to hear from Stretch next week.
Next week, yeah, not this week because we're getting.
We're running out of, but I miss Stretch. He's one of our favorites.
When I was on with Leroy on the weekends, we used to have a woman named Pam that called in.
Oh, I remember Pam.
She was pissed.
Janet Jackson.
Yes,
it was.
yes.
Joe, I was working that show, I believe.
She thought that I wasn't putting respect on the name,
and she called in.
Oh,
I want Pam in my corner every damn day. Oh, I don't. You can't forget a call like that.
Yeah, she was playing at the Sanu Center that weekend. I go, hey, did you know that Janet Jackson's playing up in New Hampshire right now? I missed some. Where is Ryan in Weymouth? He gets the Moose call.
Full moon. I mean, I imagine he's busy tonight.
All right. Well, I want to know what Mike Tyson's coming out to tonight. What song? I've seen some crazy betting numbers, so I'll go over some of the bets. I've already given mine. It's a draw, baby. It's a draw. Know what's another thing I do? When I say draw for drawer, I can't say somebody asked me about my Boston accent recently. I can't say drawer. Hey, where are the shirts? They're in the draw. They're in the draw. Let's wrap this thing up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way. call them the Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. This is what Mike Tyson will walk out to. Or do you think he switches it up? Does he do like a remix of My Ambitions as a Runner? This song still slaps. All right, you want to hear some bets? You could leave this go underneath. Like I'm feeling it. Plus, I might play the drums when the drums come out. You know what I mean? So, here are your DraftKings Sportsbook odds tonight. Jake Paul's minus 220. Mike Tyson's plus 180. So for the person who doesn't understand that, Jake Paul's a big favorite. So $220 will net you $100. But if you like Mike Tyson, $100 will get you $180. The over-under for rounds is set at 6.5. And that's pretty much even. It's a little bit juiced on the under, which means that some money is, people think that will go under 6.5 rounds. So the rounds are only 2 minutes and they're going to be with bigger gloves. There are a lot of specials in this one. Tyson to be knocked down twice, plus 150. Either fighter to be knocked down in rounds 1 or 2, plus 150. That's one I'd like there, Skaz. Someone's going down first round or whatever, or second. There are some other big, other game lines, fight lines that are out there. I actually think it goes over 6.5. That's my own opinion. As far as fight props go, I'm betting the draw plus 180, plus 800. Mike Tyson by knockout or disqualification plus 290. Mike Tyson in a decision or technical decision plus 900. Ooh, it's juicy. Skaz is waiting for it. Also, what if Mike Tyson just shows up, knocks him out in one punch? You know what you can do? Plus 1400. I'm betting the draw. Crank it up, Skaz. It's free on Netflix, baby. We're going to watch a 58-year-old man fight a young kid tonight. It is the worst case scenario for Jake Paul tonight. You lose, you suck. You being an old man, you also suck. I think we should watch it to boo that man. Maybe Phil Collins will be there. Evander Holyfield's there. Lennox Lewis is there. This is the best thing to happen to boxing in 35 years. One more thing before we go. My man Incarcerated Bob, which I have his phone number if we ever need to call him, okay? He has indicated that Floyd Mayweather has bet $1.7 million on Jake Paul tonight, which I'm telling you right now, it's probably rigged. Can't wait to watch actually, you know what, though? Give it to me. If it only lasts 10 minutes, give it to me. And I always... John Anik taught me this, who's mixed martial arts play-by-play guy. But it's one of the first things he ever taught me in broadcasting. If Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan were playing at a park, the best of all time, were playing basketball at a park, or a fight broke out, what's everybody going to watch? The fight. Tonight, we're all going to watch the fight. Why? Because it's a huge dumpster fire. All right, Skaz. Anything else before we go?
Yeah, I think we should end the show. Major shout out to